The feud in Winnipeg concerns goal scoring. Those goalies know number 13's unlucky when it's Teemu Selanne. He strikes fear in netminders. 100 goals in a flash. A slow start, but now he's back on target. Tonight, he may have a number done on him. Number 14 is Dave Andrechuk, the prolific sniper of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He prowls the slot with immovable desire. The Lord gave him the same quickness as Selanne, only he placed it in his hands as opposed to his feet. One way or another, great battles this evening of one-upmanship from Montreal and Winnipeg. A quartet of NHL All-Stars lead the battles this evening. There's the scene in Montreal where it's minus 27. It's been blustery all day. Lighter winds in Winnipeg, but cold all the same, minus 29 degrees. It's a frosty January Eve for hockey as we welcome you nationwide to our two matchups. I hate to break it to you, but I must be in an aftershave commercial or something. The guy who ripped Alpo, the guy who goes after the Winnipeg Europeans. It's Don Cherry night at the Winnipeg Arena. 10,000 fans have been issued those silly likenesses. Good evening and welcome to Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. I'm Ron McLean with Don Cherry, who's out in paperback. We'll have Don in just a moment. There was some thought a head was going to roll in Winnipeg here today. A story, front page in the newspaper of interest to Jets fans, said from an unnamed source, quote, that Mike Smith had worn out his welcome in Winnipeg, that various Jets players were very unhappy with him, and that the Jets were considering relieving Mike Smith of his general manager's duties. Barry Shankro said in that article a blunt no when asked if he was contemplating the change. He's not at the rink tonight, but the Jets have issued a statement. Obviously, there's concern about creating a lame duck situation. The article said today, contrary to a newspaper article released earlier today, the Jets aren't currently contemplating any changes within the organization. Here are Mike Smith's thoughts.
Actually, Barry called me this morning and came over to my house, so yeah, if that's true, there's an inside source leaking something like that out, which I don't necessarily agree with that, and that's certainly not good for any organization, but I don't know, we've been through this down this road before with these types of rumors, and we've handled it the same way this time as an organization we did in the past.
Will you go to the team to see if they have misgivings?
No, I know John talked to the team today, and I've talked to the team before when there was some rumors or any changes and stuff. But I think the best way to handle this is not to fall over backwards, getting away from it.
I should give you a final opportunity. The one assertion in the article, if there was anything that seemed interesting about it, was that supposedly someone feels that Selanne was upset, Bob Essensa was upset, that various players and you aren't getting along. Can you comment on that assertion?
Yeah, we've gone down that highway too. I'm sure Bob Essensa's not happy that we didn't give him the money he asked for, but that's part of contract negotiation. And any big contracts like that, I've had ownership support and the club stance. I mean, there's nothing to that with Teemu. He may not have been happy with some things that were said about him early in the season, but if you know Teemu's a good person, and I don't think he has too many misgivings about anyone. So I think that's a bunch of, quite a bit of,
the Mike Smith story.
Well, the only thing with Mike, listen, there's two things he's got to do. Draft more Russians. What are we doing here? Russians, and if you'd only do is tie up. These people great or right, eh? Let's hear it. Who cares about the game?
It's always a treat to come to Winnipeg. They have great fans. What do you think about the Jets, Don? 6th place. Winnipeggers aren't happy with Mike Smith's team if they're worried about it.
Here's the problem. They've got, isn't that great? They got some tough guys, and they've got some skaters. Who cares? And right, but what if they're not tough, and they're not a good skating team. They're caught halfway in. The thing is, either got to go all skating or go all tough. They're nothing right now. Halfway is no good.
They have King, they have Kachuk, they have Domi.
There's Domi right there. Look at these guys. Say hi to Dom, and look at these. There's some U.S. teachers. Anyhow, so I tell you, they've got a good club. They've got a lot of goal scoring. Essena's got to get going. He's doing all right. He's got to get back the way he was a couple of years ago. Solani's got to get going. And they have one of the best guys of all time, Keith Tkachuk, and that's the way I say it. He's the captain, and he'll get him going.
They're in tough against the Maple Leafs trap tonight.
Yeah. We got time to talk about that?
I can't hear things, so go ahead.
Well, there's a guy, I'm going to talk about it next week. Andy Murray says he's a coach now. He says the Toronto and San Jose and guys like that play the trap. We can't have any hitting in the offensive zone like basketball. I mean, when you got thinking like that, don't worry about Mike Smith. Europeans and no hitting, absolutely ridiculous to be talking like that. Toronto's one of the most exciting teams I don't care to watch, and he's complaining about Toronto. That's ridiculous.
Donald, see you in the coach's corner if you're back from signing autographs with all your friends here. At the Forum in Montreal, the Florida Panthers and the Montreal Canadiens collide. For a scene set there, here's Scott Russell.
Thanks, Ron. A northern night and temperatures well suited to hockey's heartland as the NHL's southernmost franchise comes calling. The Panthers are here. 1993, a year which closed mercifully for Montreal. The Stanley Cup champions barely .500 in the portion of the season prior to the new year. It meant being on the playoff fringes. In 1994, the resolution has been to return to form, and the classic Canadiens have emerged. 7 games, 5 wins, a .785 winning percentage for the Canadiens. You know, this team always seems to know when it's a critical time. We're past the midway point of the season, and the Canadiens are really on a roll. They've lost just 2 of their last 10 games. And with the exception of last night's loss at the hands of the New York Islanders, the Stanley Cup champs have been doing it with standard fare. Great defense, outstanding goaltending on the part of Patrick Roy. But when it comes to the expansion teams, it's a different story. There is trouble there, and we asked Kirk Muller about that just prior to the game.
We respect everyone, no doubt. I think perhaps maybe what happens is they raise their game and want to beat us that much more. And it seems that when we do play some of these teams, the important thing that we kind of get away from sometimes is they really try to keep the game low scoring, and they might throw 3 or 4 guys across the blue line and play it very defensive.
There's the record against the new kids on the block. 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties. Florida already has a win in here, 3-1 in November. Jesse Belanger, the former Canadian, got the winning goal. The Panthers have been playing great, especially in net John Van Beesbrook. And the man who professes to be his mentor, John Garrett, is in the booth along with Dick Irvin. They have the play-by-play as Florida takes on Montreal at the Forum, looking for a 2nd consecutive victory at the Grand Old Building. Now back to Winnipeg and Ron McLean.
Thank you, Scott. Bob Cole and Harry Neal are here in Winnipeg. The game you'll see in Quebec is the Canadiens and the Florida Panthers. The rest of the nation will be hearing from Harry and Bob momentarily as we present the Leafs and the Jets. We'll also have highlights, Calgary, Ottawa at the Saddledome, coming up next on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Struggle. If you understand the rewards of effort, you'll appreciate the result of ours. And so today, tomorrow, forever, every Molson beer will be naturally aged and free of preservatives. Why? It's our way of making Canada's best beers better.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is brought to you by Molson Special Dry, the evolution of beer. And by Ford of Canada, where quality is job one, it's working.
From a cold winter's night in Winnipeg, a warm welcome to you all. This is Bob Cole along with Harry Neal in the booth at the arena in Winnipeg, and we're ready for this one. So is Felix Potvin, the starting goaltender for the Western Conference in the All-Star game next Saturday. He has allowed just 7 goals in his last 4 starts. Bob Essensa has played in all but 5 games this year for Winnipeg. He's won 16. He has a career goals against average of 3.54 against Toronto. There's Terry Gregson, the referee. Brian Murphy and Pierre Rastico will work the lines. And the Leafs start. Rouse and Mironov, Osborne, Eastwood, and Anderson. The Jets, Kennedy and Ulanov, the defenseman. Tomlinson at center ice, Domi and King on the wings. And we're underway. Ulanov is number 5. And he just lifts the puck in. It becomes loose very quickly. And on the wing, very smartly, was Tomlinson. But he was tied up by Mironov of the Maple Leafs. Domi kicked it loose back of the Leaf net. And it slides to Anderson, and he comes away with it. Anderson left it for Mironov. And that'll be offside at the Winnipeg blue line. Eastwood had the puck hit him, but he was across the line, not in control, offside.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs, for once in a long time, can sit some healthy people out. Pat Burns has decided to go with 7 defensemen tonight. Sometimes he goes with 5. Tonight it's 7 and only 11 forwards, and that's the way the forwards shape up. Right now, you can expect Gilmore to play in more than one line. Clark and Krushelnyski hurt. Pearson and Cullen scratches.
The Leafs have won 5 straight. Their first overall. 17 goals in the last 8 road games. And they're still winning. Mironov left it in his own zone, and now it's lifted out to center ice. The Jets come back. Newman is number 27. He got rid of it from his own blue line. Emerson is the real speedster for Winnipeg. He was in there. And the loose puck taken by Bird. Bird flipped it on the boards and down the ice for Peter Zezel, and Zezel going in after Newman. Around the net, Manderville was coming in, had him lined up. No hit on the play. Essence stepping out of the net to leave it there for Newman. He's coming away. Newman's long pass, a high stick made contact, but the Jets get the puck, so the play continues, and the Leafs move it up on the right side. Gilmore made a great move. Gilmore coming in with a setup in front of the net, but Borshevsky was tied up on the play. And now down the other way, Zhemnov. Can't do much with it. It's cleared back in over the lines. Zhemnov, number 10. He was out for 8 games. He's back in there tonight, and Gilmore, what a great move.
Now let's have a look at the Winnipeg Jet lineup. This is their defense core. They'll lean a little heavier on the first 2 than the other 4. And here are their 4 lines. The 2 Emerson-Zamnoff line are the ones that are dangerous. Eriksson, Kaminsky are both injured. Gilmore starts off where he left off Thursday by deking the defenseman. Mironov ought to know better than to try to play the puck against Doug Gilmore.
Boris
Brothers should tell him about him.
Number 2 shot the puck from center ice. Gill left it back of his own net. And now Gilmore coming out for Toronto. Gilmore stopped. He coughed it up inside the line and got it back again. Mironov of Winnipeg knocked it down. He was outside the blue line, however, and that is offside.
Well, Doug Gilmore has found some new energy after looking and playing like he was tired for 2 or 3 weeks in December. He loses the puck on a nice little check by Zamnoff. No circles by Gilmore. A quick stop, right back, and gets the puck and makes sure it gets out of the zone. One thing about Doug Gilmore, don't worry about his defensive talents. He was a far better defensive center before he came the excellent offensive center. John Paddock, he's got a great schedule in the next 2 months. The Jets have only played 19 home games. This is the time that he says they're going to make the playoffs or not, with 31 home games left.
The Jets have won 4 straight at home. And their problems a little while ago, and we'll find out tonight if they have cured those problems. But they seem to have it going now. We'll see as this game unfolds, and the Jets are coming out. Steen is number 25. Steen rolled it in over the line, and Dave Ellett is back against Isabart. Ellett hammered it on the boards. Mironov of Winnipeg kept it in, but again, it's called a glove pass. And that stops the play.
Well, Alexei Zamnov, as you said, Bob, this is his first game back after missing 8 with a bad back. 19 power play points. He leads the Jets in even strength points. And you'll like this, Bob. He married the daughter of that excellent Soviet defenseman, Valery Vasilyev. So their kids ought to be somebody that are on someone's draft list.
Studio was a good one, I'll tell you that. In the Big Summit Series. They had a lot of good ones in those days. They still produce some, but not as much as a few years back. Not as many.
Well, one of the unsung heroes of the Toronto Maple Leafs, playing his 140th consecutive game as a Leaf, Sylvain Lefebvre. He is tied for 4th in the National Hockey League and tied for 1st on his team with a very impressive +24.
Randy Gillen, he's been around for a while, and he's wearing number 15, and there he is, ready to take the face-off for Winnipeg against Kudashev of the Maple Leafs. And Gillen won it, got it back. Ulanov's shot is tipped in front of the net by McCown. He made sure it got to the far corner. The Jets are forechecking. Lefebvre will have to hurry. It's going to be Shannon in on the boards. He keeps it in. Gillen flipped it back at the net for Eagles, and Eagles tried to kick it out in front of the goal. Couldn't do it. Now he holds it with a skate. He's covered on the play, so Gillen comes in to help. Baumgartner for the Maple Leafs was back. Can't get the puck up along the boards and out. The Leafs finally cleared to center ice. It's grabbed there by Kudashev. Kudashev in put the brakes on and tried to hand it back. Andrechuk was covered. The pass actually behind him. McCown drills the shot in. That's the first stop by Essenza. First shot in the game.
Well, here in Winnipeg, we heard from Mike Smith, the GM. We know John Paddock's job's in jeopardy. When you underachieve as long as the Jets have, that's always the question, who's going to go, the coach or the manager. Reminds me the old story about the Lone Ranger in Tono, Bob, who were pinned down by 200 Apaches. The Lone Ranger said to Tono, "Tono, we're in a tough spot." And Tono said, "What's this wee stuff, paleface?" So who's it going to be, the manager or the coach? Neither or both.
No score in the hockey game. We are nearing the 4-minute mark of the first period. And the play called inside the Winnipeg line.
Winnipeg has won 4 straight home games, and with way more home games than road coming up, maybe they will get things together. They got off to a slow start last year and finished with 87 points. Pat Burns is thrilled with the return of a big-time defensive commitment from his Leafs. 9 goals against in the last 5 games, and they won them all. 6 healthy defensemen, so he doesn't have to play 4 too much. He's even smiling the day of the game, which is something for Mr. Burns.
Eastwood was on the puck, but then fell to the ice. Anderson tried to pick it up. Tkachuk starts away for Winnipeg. He was checked near center ice by Mark Osborne. Jets come back. Quintal played it away across the line, and up the center is Emerson. Look at him go. Emerson gets the shot. Rebound is there. And a penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs, but there is the speed again of Nelson Emerson. The first penalty of the game goes against Toronto.
Ford builds a real serious truck. I have a 7.3-liter turbo diesel. The biggest motor that I've seen. It'll haul anything I want to throw at it. You got to love this truck. You know, it's good. My truck is pretty important because if it doesn't work, then I can't put my boys to work. I have that comprehensive warranty, and I need a truck that's...
Nice ride.
Thanks. The guys, they're almost as good as this Ford diesel is.
Presenting some more of the 2,000 body parts you can clean with Lever 2000, the deodorant soap that's better for your skin. Studly parts like your delts and pecs, and smoochable parts like the nape of the neck, the small of your back, elbows, thighs, even parts that surprise. And all because Lever 2000 has gentle skincare ingredients, so it's as good for touchy-feely parts as it is for rough and tumble parts. And remember, you can choose Lever 2000 in unscented too, for all your 2,000 parts.
Bob Rouse of the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2 minutes interference.
Well, you can't let Solani go to the net by himself, and Bob Rouse here turns him around with a stick between his legs, and down goes Solani. May have saved a goal, but now it's a penalty.
And Solani, of course, remains out there for Winnipeg. Zezel killing the penalty, got to center and drilled it. Came right back to him off Mironov of Winnipeg. Zezel eating up some seconds on this Leaf penalty. Finally fell to the ice, and now Winnipeg lining up to come out. Boris Mironov played it up to the right wing. Zamnov was stopped. Got it back again, had to circle back though, and lost some more time. Winnipeg trying to get inside the Leaf line. Zamnov giving a pretty good shot along the boards. They keep it in. Solani trying to get in front of the net. Can't do it. Mironov shot it behind the goal. Zamnov played it back. Solani gets set. Teemu Solani centered at a quick shot, missing on the short side. Pretty good pressure by Winnipeg now. It's lifted into the corner and cleared all the way back to Mironov along the line with it. Back to Mironov. Shot off the shoulder of Potvin. And the Leafs are going to clear it out down the ice. Osborne, the penalty killer, clearing that and going on. 45 seconds left in the penalty to Bob Rouse. No score in the first period. Winnipeg. Power play moving to center. Taking the pass smartly was Steen, but Ella took it away from him. Coming in, Isabart. Isabart stopping it, throwing it to the side of the net, back to Isabart at the line as Newman into Isabart again. Isabart waiting, Newman open, but he goes to the far side. Now Newman and Isabart missed the rebound. Puck is cleared out into the center ice zone, and Gilmore again killing off some seconds, hanging on to it. Pretty good work by Doug Gilmore. And only 10 seconds left in the Rouse penalty. No score, first period. Winnipeg, good skating team as usual. They move it to center. Kim Towle shooting it in back of the net. Shannon tried to center it. The Leaf penalty expired. They're at full strength, and they come to center. Gilmore trying to get in. And it was Newmanen who took it away from him. And he goes high with it down the ice. Bouncing in front of the goaltender and caught Gill back for McCown. McCown's pass a little bit too far for Andrechuk. And he was wide open up there. Andrechuk stealing the puck. Can't center it. He is checked on the play by Tomlinson. Leafs keep it in. Giveaway though, that pass right on to Boris Mironov. He just missed a hit from McCown. Got in with the puck, tried to give it to Domi. Domi took it on a skate and then lost it. And the Leafs are back. Borshevsky moving up. Borshevsky going in, tried to stick handle by the two defenders. Couldn't do it. Here's King up to Tomlinson over the Leaf line. Tomlinson down on one knee as he ran into Jamie McCown of the Maple Leafs. McCown lifted one to center ice. Boughton back at his own blue line, and he cleared it up. Now it's tipped at center ice, and Anderson couldn't pick up the loose puck. Kachuk turning. He's a great skater, too. Just did get away from that hit coming from Mironov of the Maple Leafs. Dmitry Mironov back in his own zone for Anderson. Mironov took a hit as he got clear of the puck. No score, first period. Nearing the 8-minute mark, Mironov again. Solani rubbed him out on the boards. Kennedy tried to give it to Solani. No dice, and the Leafs content to just shoot it in. Sellout crowd here in Winnipeg tonight. The Leafs on the puck. Anderson working hard back of the net. Coming out front and left it there at the side of the crease. Kennedy, where Winnipeg was there, slapped it off the boards, down the ice. Icing waved off. The two teams making quick changes. Long pass, up across center. Rouse had a notion to pick it up before it hit center ice and then moved, and he was offside.
When others are blowing hot and cold about how beer is made, there is a beer which quietly and consistently delivers on its promise. Nobody delivers great beer taste and no aftertaste like Molson Special Dry. No beer. It just could be the best beer ever brewed, anytime, anywhere.
My best friend Lily, she moved to the east with her daughter. She's funny, organized, and very picky. She sent it to me that calendar and mark each day when we're supposed to call each other. Saturday, 7 o'clock, call me. I feel like talking on Thursday, so I call her.
With an MTS long-distance savings plan, you can save up to 60% and afford to call as often as you want.
Oh, that makes her so crazy.
You deserve the best long distance in the world.
I like that.
Back in Winnipeg, the first highlight of the night from Calgary, the Ottawa Senators and the Flames. Flames grab the lead 3 minutes in. Robert Reichel from Fleury and Petit for Reichel, 15th on the year, makes it 1-0 Calgary. Bob?
Thank you, Ron. And, of course, Ron McLean will be keeping us posted on other action this afternoon. A tough one for Edmonton and a good one for Pittsburgh. 4-3. Edmonton on a long road trip. Here's Eagles moving up with Gillen. Eagles saw Gillen in front of the net, went back of the goal with the pass, and the Leafs easily pick it up and skate away. Vanderbilt going to the far side and in. Quintal got a piece of him. Puck off the boards, and the Jets have a tough time clearing it. They finally get it out, and Gillen had to shoot it from center ice. Montman leaving it this time for Barahowski. He made one move and then another that nearly backfired. Cecil comes back to help, and the Leafs just get it out over the line near center ice. Vanderbilt prevented from moving anywhere. He was checked on the boards by Gillen. 9 minutes gone in the first period. No score. Up to center. Numanen coming in. Went off balance, regained his balance, and passed the puck in behind the net. Isabard tucked it out at the blue line. Boughton shot it in wide of the net. In around the goal is Gill. And Gill will come out against Steen. He saw Osborne, and he left it at the Leaf blue line. Lefebvre trying to get the center. Did that, and the Leafs get it up over the line. It goes right in on the net, however. And Bob Essenza went down quickly and smothered it.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets aren't quite the offensive force that they were last year. And two of the reasons that they're not getting nearly as much offense from their defensemen. Take a look what Frederick Olofsson and Phil Housley did last year. And this year, if you project the points the Jet defensemen have now over 84 games, they won't get as many as these two guys got for the Jets last year. And Phil Housley, one of the great passing defensemen in the game, is missing, and they decided Frederick Olofsson couldn't play, and he's gone to Edmonton.
Gilmore, Borchevsky, and Andrechuk, the Leaf line. Gillen is back on to take the face-off for Winnipeg, and he wins it. Boughton shot it to the right wing. He'll have to try and do it again. The puck is shot in back of the net. Steen missed a chance to move it out. Andrechuk checked him right up the line. Now the Jets get it up to center ice. We are coming up to the halfway mark of the first period. There is no score in the game. We've only had a total of 3 shots so far. Only one by Toronto. Lefebvre shoots it in. Boughton back of the net. Steen waits for the pass. Takes a hit. And Zamnov played it up to center ice, and the Leafs just dumped it back in again. Boughton against Gilmore. Gilmore in back of the net. Didn't find the puck. Andrechuk got it into him. Gilmore turning away from Boughton back to the line, and Gill was there, ready for the pass, but Steen made a good play. Got his stick in the way and deflected it. Steen at center. Isabard will skate away from Gilmore. Gilmore's going off. The Leafs changing as the Jets come back to pick it up. Andrechuk nearly stole it from Sergei Boughton.
Well, there are lots of action in the National Hockey League in out-of-town games. So we're going to try and keep you up to date. Florida against Montreal. The Canadiens have an awful time against the expansion teams. Calgary now 2-0 against Ottawa in Calgary. Detroit in Boston up 2-0. The Red Wings, one of the hottest teams in the league. Pittsburgh got a late third-period goal to beat Edmonton 4-3, and the Capitals, who you never know how they're going to play, are up 2-0. And Chicago's been struggling, and in Long Island they are beating the Islanders, and you can see LA has a lead in their game. This game in St. Louis just starting, and the one in San Jose yet to start.
Talking about LA and winning or losing tonight, Winnipeg is watching LA very carefully. They're very close to that 8th spot, and are up and down week in, week out. The top 8, of course, in the conference will make the playoffs. Winnipeg fighting for a shot at the playoffs. This is a big game for the Jets tonight. The Leafs are first overall coming into this game. 8:45 left in the first period. No score. Leafs go in. Score! Well, you wouldn't think that would be a goal. Eastwood coming in there forechecking. And Essensa and the defenseman, I think, Harry, got crossed up.
One of the two of them, and I think the defenseman had a cranial cramp on this play, and Eastwood walks in, and he looks like either the goalie's going to get it or the defenseman. It bounces over Newman's stick. And Newman doesn't really hustle back for it. Eastwood beats him to the puck, and Essensa, who thought Newman was going to get it, lets it go between his legs.
Well, full marks really to Eastwood for barreling in and looking for a chance. And he did that. That's the first goal of this game. The Leafs' second shot of the game. 11:19, the time of the goal. Mike Eastwood gets it. So he's on a scoring streak.
Well, Eastwood and Manderville are two guys who have elevated their performance lately for the Leafs. More aggressive, and now are starting to chip a couple of goals in.
Of course, that will be unassisted. 11:19, the time of the goal, 1-0 Toronto. The Jets come right back, and Potvin kicked out the left pad. Made a save on that. Toronto trying to clear the puck. They do not, but the play is called. And we've got a penalty on this play. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
The commitment of Olympic caliber athlete is such that you're looking at the finest athletes in the world. They're the best in their sport. I get tingles even talking about it right now. The first time you all dress in the same uniforms, the first time you represent your country, they're winners. They're winners. Anybody who puts the Olympic uniform on to represent their country is a winner. Well, Ford of Canada is sponsoring the drive to Lilyhammer, and we're providing each of our dealerships banners that'll be in every one of our dealerships across the country, 650 Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealerships, and ask all Canadians to come on in and support their team by signing, becoming directly involved. It'll be there'll be kids signing the banners, junior hockey teams coming in, Canadians from all walks of life. As people come in to sign these banners and receive the Ford official Olympic pin, we intend to roll those banners up and bring them to Lilyhammer and present them at a major ceremony to the Olympic team. I would predict someone who signs the banner this year will be an Olympic athlete in the future.
And we're back in Winnipeg, and there's your penalty. Dave Tomlinson, high stick.
Right, it comes right up in the face of Manderville, as you can see there. Tomlinson was a Leaf property last year at 84 points in 70 games with the St. John's Maple Leafs, and had a cup of coffee with the Leafs a couple of times.
And now he's in the penalty box. The Leafs are leading 1-0, and they have their first power play of the hockey game. Todd Gill coming out. Dave Ellett is the other defenseman moving up, and he reaches forward to put it by Newman. And Gilmore in center net. Borshevsky had a try at it. Essensa made a good stop. Here's Gilmore from the corner. Gilmore hanging on to it now. Borshevsky. Gilmore waits in there. Borshevsky sizes him up and gives it to him. Gilmore now working it out. Gilmore circles. Borshevsky waits. Blue line Gill. Other side for Ellett. No shot yet now. Gill, it's deflected. And Essensa finds it. It came off a stick or something in front of the net to the right of Bob Essensa. And it dropped down and escapes, but the goaltender was alert.
Well, Dave Anderchuk is standing right in front of the net. Sometimes he drifts off to the side, the right side, or on his left side. And you'll see this time he gets right in front of the net. When it goes from one point to the other, he moves over, so he is trying to get right in the line of the shot. And this rebound was smothered by Essensa because Newman let Gilmore go right to the goal. If the puck had been loose, the score would be 2-0.
And at 19 left in the power play for Toronto, they are up 1-0. East with the goal. Well, it starts this play from inside the line. In on the boards, Borshevsky. Here's Gilmore. Andrechuk in front, and he missed it. Puck was high on the pass, and he couldn't make contact. Right in front of the net, he was open. Borshevsky now closing in. No shot, knocked it down, went after it, and the Jets pick it up and clear it down the ice. Eagles stopped that second pass and cleared it away. 50 seconds left in the penalty. Tomlinson of the Winnipeg Jets is in the penalty box. And out for Toronto, 4 of them across the ice. They get it up over the line. Loose puck in there, and Gill had to back up, allowing Shannon to come out for Winnipeg. Shannon on a sharp angle, bumped by Gill. Stays with him, though. And now, finally, Andrechuk. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Andrechuk coming in. Got over the line with Gilmore, who was offside on the play. And now only 22 seconds left in the Winnipeg penalty.
Well, not only does Dave Andrechuk lead the NHL in goals with 36, he leads the NHL in power play goals with 17. He's currently enjoying a 5-game point streak, 6 goals, 4 assists. And against Winnipeg this year, in the 2 games they played before tonight, he's got 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points, and he scored 23% of the Leafs goals this year. And these 2 guys sing some pleasant songs, as they in the last 5 games have got accumulated 21 points between them.
Penalty just about over. A little over 10 seconds now as the Leafs pick it up. Anderson in there with Eastwood and Osborne. Marinov of the Maple Leafs kept it into Osborne. Finally, it's Tkachuk who got it near the line, but not out. Tomlinson is out of the penalty box. So the Jets have killed it off. 1-0 is the score. Toronto is on top. Eastwood has the goal. That came at 11:19. Unassisted. Anderson moving up over the line now. Anderson trying to squeeze in, but he was checked by Boris Marinov. Steen left it for Solani. The quick Solani is in, setting it up. Good play. But Zemnov just missed a scoring chance. Leafs pick it up and just go back with it. Gill really gave it away to Steen. The Jets, some fine forechecking. Zemnov stopped it at the blue line. Marinov's shot, a weak one, and wide of the net. Solani was bumped to the ice by Marinov of the Maple Leafs. And the Leafs have to relieve the pressure by shooting it down the ice. Now they're changing. Boris Marinov moves up. Shot it in behind the net, and there's Gill. Gill right in front of his own goal. Nearly got checked, but got away with it and cleared the zone. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the first period. Toronto 1, Winnipeg no score. Eastwood has the goal for the Maple Leafs, unassisted. Here come the Jets, 3 of them bunching together, but now they spread out. Tomlinson coming in. The high shot came off the stick of McCown, actually, and on the glass. Penalty coming up to McCown of the Maple Leafs. He knocked Domi down. Essen says on the bench they have the extra skater on, but now the Leafs touch it. And as Essel gets possession, the whistle goes. Another power play for Winnipeg coming up.
Up to see the flips on the flying trapeze.
Hey, what are you eating?
Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran?
You know, 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins and whole grain flakes with bran.
2 scoops of raisins?
2 scoops.
The triple flip! The flip was out of control because the catcher went for a bowl of 2 scoops of raisins and Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
What are we going to do about the RSP this year? You got any ideas?
There's always GICs, but nah.
So we get a tax break. Look at interest rates. Can't we do better than that?
You'd think so.
Maybe we need a game plan, you know? Look at the big picture.
Well, let's get on it.
Call investors today.
At the Saddle Dome, the Flames led 2-0, both goals by Reichel. There's Joe Nieuwendyk with his 27th of the year, power play tally from McInnes and Kesmer. Calgary all over Ottawa in the first.
Well, another tough night, Ron, for Ottawa. Calgary rolling right along.
Despite a lot of injuries, really a phenomenal story, Calgary, and a great job done by Dave King changing his lines. He's had as many as 9 guys out some nights.
Emerson is the freewheeling skater with the puck now for Winnipeg. They're on the power play. The Leafs are leading 1-0. And now through center, Zamnov moving up on the right side. Tkachuk hangs onto it, lays it back, gets it again. Tkachuk trying to quarterback this power play. Miranov's shot away wide of the net. Tkachuk was there, so was Lefebvre. And he bumped him in behind the net. Solani now, another penalty coming up, I believe, but this time it's going to be Winnipeg. And it's going to be Tkachuk, the captain of the Winnipeg Jets, who gets the penalty, and that will even it up with 1:14 left in the Leaf penalty.
He grabs a hold of Sylvain Lefebvre's stick in the battle for the puck on the end boards. And referee Gregson, they don't give you any kind of account anymore. They used to give you 1 steamboat. If you let go, they wouldn't give you a penalty. But now, as soon as you grab him, and there you can see it right there, he had it under his arm, perhaps, not in his hand. But the power play is negated after 46 seconds, and here it is right here, a better look. So we have 4-on-4 here. The Jets have scored 4 and had 10 scored against them under these circumstances. The Leafs 7-4 and 6 against.
The score in the game, 1-0 Toronto leads with 3:30 remaining in the first period. Eastwood has the goal for Toronto. An unassisted effort as Gilmore comes in, dropped it back to Gill. Gill's shot, a weak one along the ice. Now it's centered, and the Jets are going to try it. Out comes Newman in the center. Over the line he goes. He made a pretty good move on Dave Ella. Got it in there for Isabard, who centered it. And the Leafs are away. Down goes Andrechuk alone. Great save, Essenza. Crowd loves this. Andrechuk trying to beat Bob Essenza. And Essenza stayed right with him. Here's Quintal moving up, centering it. Good save, Potvin. Isabard was robbed by Potvin on the short side. Still 1-0 Toronto. This 4 skaters on 4 skaters has produced a couple of great scoring chances. Gilmore is in there now, sliding it out front, and Anderson fanned on it. The Jets get it ahead. The Leafs now have the man advantage. Tkachuk has 35 seconds left in his penalty. Toronto leads 1-0, and they move it around in the center ice area. Gillen steals the puck for Winnipeg. Shoots it deep in the Toronto zone. 2 minutes left in the period. Rouse popped it up in there. Shot from the blue line is blocked by Mironov of Toronto. Dmitry Mironov gets it ahead. 1:45 remaining in the period. And 5 seconds in the Winnipeg penalty. Osborne gets it back, and Rouse gets a shot. That's knocked down, a loose puck. Drive! That's blocked. Essenza coming up big for Winnipeg here in the late stages of the first period. Tkachuk is up over the line for Winnipeg as they try to tie it. Solani couldn't control it. A real stiff pass, and he couldn't quite control it. Now Emerson speeding in on Rouse. Emerson bumped by Rouse, who caught him. Rouse lost the stick. The Jets are on it. Pass through the crease. Ulanov was moving up. Solani ripped one. That had a skate. Tkachuk circling, trying to get in front of the net. But he lost it, and the Leafs cleared down the ice. It'll be an icing call against Toronto with 50 seconds remaining in the period.
In a time of peace, love, and outrage.
What are you trying to do to me?
They took away his freedom. This is your home for the rest of your life. But they couldn't kill his spirit.
I will fight on!
The last of the Modelo
Deacons Daniel Day-Lewis and Emma Thompson in the name of the Father. Now playing in select areas, check newspapers.
Ready for the face-off to the right of Felix Potvin. He's at 5 saves in the period so far. Jets on the puck. Newman flicked one over in front of the goal, but the Leafs are covering easily. Now Zamnov turning around. Can't get the pass back to Newman properly, and he had to backhand it from center ice. 30 seconds left in the period. The Leafs have the only goal. Eastwood scored it. That came at 11:19. Second effort by Eastwood on the Winnipeg defense. The Leafs are in there again with 15 seconds remaining in the period. Vanderbilt's shot out of the net was Essenson cutting the angle. The Leafs are on it again. 8 seconds remaining in the period. Jets are trying to get it out. It floats out over the line. Barely. The Leafs dump a high one in. That'll do it. The horn goes to end the first period. The Leafs outshot the Jets in the first 20 minutes. 8-5. And coming up on Don Cherry night in Winnipeg, Don Cherry is in the coach's corner with Ron McLean. The score after one period. Toronto 1. Winnipeg, no score.
Ever dreamed of a showdown with one of the best goalies in the NHL? McDonald's can make your dream come true with Upper Deck Fantasy Pack cards. 4 cards, 49 cents for the purchase of a drink. You could win a trip to a Stanley Cup game via Canadian, ice time with Pavel Bure, a showdown with Patrick Roy, or one of 150,000 great prizes.
Love.
3 decades in the making. And worth its weight in gold. The all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more. It's Motor Trend Car of the Year. February, one of our favorite clients won't be sitting comfortably in a Midland Walwyn office. She'll be speeding downhill faster than you drive on a 4-lane highway. Karen Lee Gardner is Canada's only individual defending gold medalist this winter in Norway. Karen trusts her finances to Midland Walwyn because she knows we're good at what we do.
Okay, this looks great, Margaret. I'd like to go ahead with it.
We put our support behind her for the same reason. To us, that's blue chip thinking.
We colored Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and Zorro.
The people at Manitoba Digital Chameleon color your favorite comic books electronically. And when they moved, their MTS representative was the first to know.
MTS solved problems for us we didn't even know we had. Most of our customers are anywhere but where we are. Vantage Plan has saved us 50%. We're a quality supplier, and we like to stick with the quality people.
MTS, opening new lines of communication.
think about it.
Please.
There it is right there.
Your disciple.
Yes. Yeah, if I got it right, go ahead.
Ty Domi and Leanne, his wife, and their beautiful baby girl, Carlin, and their beautiful dog, Shelby.
And that day, he got a goal, an assist, and beat up Cam Russell.
Sorry.
Anyhow, that's Miriam hasn't been feeling too well, and that's for her. This is the first time she's seen the baby. How do you like that?
That's his mom. I wanted to say hi to Chris King's grandma. Yes. Bethy, I know you're watching in Aurelia, and she had surgery this week, up and around already, and I thought...
Tony's okay, too.
Tony's great. 2 years without any leukemia. He's back to work. Beautiful.
All right.
Bethy, I know where you got the toughness in that family.
All right.
By the way, Ty Domi wants to be known as Ty Domi.
Ty Domi. That's right. He says, say it like Grape says, Domi, not Domi. And Tachuk sounds like he's got a cold or something. Tachuk, say it like...
It's Kachuk and Domi, but you'd think you were a Domi. The way you know that. Let's see. You were talking to Wayne Cashman this morning here at the rink. What was that all about?
Wayne Cashman of Tampa. You know they haven't been home 2 days, I think, since December. Their record on the road right now since the 8-2-1 went into Detroit, beat Detroit, outshot them 25-7. You know, I remember when Tampa came in the league. Every ho. He's like Don Cherry. He's picking muscle and character. That's right. He's got Terry Crisp, lots of character. Stanley Cup, Cashman. 2 Stanley Cups, not too shabby. Danny Gare, 50-goal scorer. And I'm telling you, that's the way to do it. And you kids out there, when they phone for Phil for a kid, you know the first thing he says? What kind of a kid is he and what kind of character? So talent's not alone. Mind your manners here, you kids.
In Detroit last night, they were asking about Rick Zombo, who played for the Red Wings, character guy, defenseman playing for St. Louis, and got involved with Kevin Collins. Wow. Swung his stick after a goal surrendered. No, I didn't. So you. All right,
I thought what happened was there was a breakaway. Kevin Collins is in his road, and the kid's trying to get away. You know, it wasn't a whack, you know, like whack. It was get out of the way, get out of the way. He'd have hit his father to get it. It was a breakaway, and that was a winning goal.
Scored, right?
Yeah, McPhee scored. It's a winning goal. So what happened? So what I'm going to say, so Brian Lewis doesn't put a report in. Collins doesn't put a report in. Now the league's going to do something about it. If they suspend him, they got to do something about Collins. That's ridiculous. Don't look for trouble, you guys.
I like that.
You could.
I thought the referees looked at it that way, too.
Good.
What was it you were saying for the 50th week in a row about Dougie Gilmour?
All right. Now, I got something to say about the dummies that pick the Stars, okay? First of all, he's in Washington, right?
Yes.
The score is 2-1, right?
Yes.
He gets a goal and assist, plays about 55 minutes, takes all the draws, blocks shots, hits, does the whole thing, right? No star. Doesn't get a star, scores a goal with 13 seconds left to win the game. No star.
But Doug Gilmour's so great, people
Wait a minute. Who's telling this story, me or you?
Just saying why he doesn't get the star.
All right.
Superstar.
Well, that's my story here, eh?
Certainly.
The people in Red River know you're smart. I told them this before. Anyhow, now he comes the other night. We're going to show this little one in overtime, right? Watch this here. Vicious slash, jumps over top of it, okay? Watch this here, right on the tape here, right on the money. Guess who didn't get a star in this game?
Doug Gilmour.
Now, he's not in the top 3 in the Molson, what do you call them, all-star standings. He's not in the top 3. I've come to the conclusion that he's like Bobby Orr. I remember after the games all the time, they'd say, who is the best player out there? And we'd say, okay, it's the second guy off Bobby Orr. And that's the only way I can understand it. But let's get a little smarter. A lovely play like that. You know what Pat Burns said why they didn't change a star?
Why?
Because it was too late. Are you people that stupid that you can't change something when a guy makes a play like that?
No, well, lots of times the stars are picked and with 5 minutes to go, boom.
Well, all right, change it, absolutely. Dummies picked it. We'll find out.
We have the All-Star game next Saturday. He'll be there. He'll get a star.
Now, wait a minute. I'm supposed to say now, because Hockey Night in Canada is doing the All-Star game,
got it back after 4 years.
Yeah, got it back after 4 or 5 years. TSN had it and everything. And I'm supposed to say now, what a great game. It's a floaters game. Always will be a floaters game. When you don't have Cam Neely, that scored 25 goals, 25? At the time of the voting, he had 20 goals in 22 games. He's got 29 goals now in 25 games. Brendan Shanahan, 29 games. They're not going. But I got to say one thing about Mr. Bettman. He's getting pretty smart. Do you remember on Coach's Corner, where I said last year, if you want a good all-star game, you got to give the guys some dough, make them go for something. Guess what this year?
Yeah, you said that last week.
Yes, and I said it last year too. $5,000 to nothing. You're finally listening to somebody, but I don't care whether we're putting it on. It's a floaters game. Always will be.
That's why you won't be there.
I will
not panic next week. What about Wendell can't go maybe because of the ankle? Would you put Cam?
I'd put Cam in. Why shouldn't he? Never mind. Why shouldn't he be there in the start? Cam Neely. Have Cam Neely. What a night. How do I get into these things?
In terms of I don't know. It's a very reasonable simile anyway. Don Cherry.
The best you ever looked.
Got two faces tonight. In Coach's Corner on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
How do I get into these things?
Mornings will never be the same now that there's new Cool Mint Listerine. Because Cool Mint isn't just another mouthwash with a fresh, minty taste. It also attacks bad breath with a proven germ-killing formula. New Cool Mint Listerine. There's no better way to wake up a foul mouth.
Come on, guys. If we win this game, no practice tomorrow.
Boys, we win this one.
No practice for a week. And I'll take you to see a great movie this weekend.
Well, win or lose, we're all going to have a triple cheeseburger at McDonald's.
McDonald's Taste of the Month is the triple cheeseburger, alone or as part of an extra value meal.
We've been talking it over. Your future, that is. Might be fine.
Philadelphia, winner of 3 Golden Globe nominations. Best Actor, Best Screenplay, and Best Original Song.
What is fair, what is right. The law's been broken.
Rolling Stone calls Philadelphia an emotional powerhouse.
You remember the law, don't you?
Tom Hanks, I have a case. Denzel Washington.
See you in court.
Philadelphia, now playing at a theater near you.
Hi, I'm Brian Cook. Join me for Open Wide. Tonight, you'll experience the Primark.
Trinity, two talk.
Ingest the horrific. And battle indigestion in the streets of New York City. See you after the hockey game.
Tuesday on 24 Hours, we'll show you how this man saves big bucks on his prescription bill. If you think you're paying too much for your prescription drugs, join Shirley Muir for Buyer Beware, Tuesday on 24 Hours.
All-Star Saturday on CBC. First, live from New York, it's the NHL All-Star Game. Then, see the best players go head-to-head in the skills competition. The All-Star Game, the skills competition. The action begins next Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
For over a century, communities across Canada have cherished the game of hockey. The result of that appreciation's been in part the production of champions. Tonight, Ford, a proud founding sponsor of the new Hockey Hall of Fame, presents Hometown Heroes. This edition features the geographical center of the Maritimes, Moncton, New Brunswick, and success at all hockey levels next.
I needed a truck that was a dual-purpose vehicle, the Ford F-150 Super Cab.
The main thing I use the truck for is for the family. You know, I have the driver's side airbag and the rear anti-lock brakes.
A 5.8-liter V8.
I feel really secure in it.
Well, the seats are comfortable.
Comfortable for the kids, comfortable for me.
That landscape on the side. You can't show up there and work on your truck. You have to show up there and work on the job.
The console seat is a great idea. This way I can pop both the kids in the front if I have to watch them. We use the truck a lot for camping.
Cooped up in the rain inside the trailer.
I sing.
Incorporated as a city in 1855, but settled hundreds of years earlier. The population now stands at 60,000. Its hockey roots began at the Moncton Stadium, built in the early part of the century, and it housed the Carroll family, Moncton's version of the Sutters. In 1934, the Moncton Hawks, starring Sammy McManus, won the Allen Cup and the world title. The city's most famous NHLer was Gordie Drillin, the last Toronto Maple Leaf to win the scoring title. Later, the city shone as the University of Moncton, coached by Jean Ferrand, won the CIAU title. In the early 80s, there was the AHL New Brunswick Hawks, a Leaf Farm team with Steve Larmer, and captain Bill Riley. Later, Brett Hull and Gary Roberts were line mates. In fact, Brian Bradley was on their line for a time, one of the most prolific in the AHL. Rick Bowness was born in Moncton, later played in the NHL. Former Blue and Flame Charlie Bourgeois, a native of Moncton. He also played on a university title holder. Scott Pellerin was the 1992 Hobey Baker Award winner. Rolly Melanson played 11 years for 5 NHL teams, and now the AHL Jets call Moncton home. Hometown Hero salutes Moncton, New Brunswick. Hometown Heroes, a presentation of Ford of Canada.
I wish I could afford a comfortable pair of glasses. At LensCrafters, we believe everyone has the right to the best-fitting, most comfortable glasses at an affordable price. That's why our wide selection of comfortable frames starts at under $70. Now we have the prices you want and the perfect fit you need. I never knew LensCrafters glasses were so affordable.
LensCrafters. Better fit, affordable comfort in about an hour.
You know, when you think about it, we've done more laundry, cleaned more dishes, we've washed more cars, scrubbed more floors, babied more faces. And there's very little doubt that we've done more deliveries than anyone else, too. Well, almost. We're citywide water heater service, and with no extra charge for weekend or evening service, we keep Winnipeg in hot water.
A capitalist oasis in the heart of China.
This is the border between two economic realities within China.
CBC's Mark Starovich explores an economic revolution that will dominate the next century. Red Capitalism, Sunday at 8.
This week, Cindy Crawford, Marky Mark, and Sugar Ray Leonard. Who has the best exercise video?
And time for the annual CBC hockey tournament.
I want to bet on some hockey.
Street Sense! Street Sense!
Street Sense, Sunday night at 5:30.
Take one.
For 8 o'clock. We're going to see some fairly radical changes on this hour with the police force gas.
Rescue crews about 800,000
Live, up to the minute. CBC Morning News, weekdays on CBC Television. The first portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Ford of Canada, where quality is job one. It's working.
Bob Cole and Harry Neal in the booth at the arena in Winnipeg, where the Leafs are leading the Jets 1-0. The goal by the Leafs. First, they called it unassisted, but now they've changed it, and there are 2 assists given on the goal. Osborne and Mironov. 11:19 was the time in the first period. So we are underway in period number 2. And the puck is shot into the Leaf zone, and Gilmore goes back to the net. And Richuk cleared it on the boards and got it out. Isabard turning. Back to the line, and Boris Mironov got it up to Zenov, and he is stopped. Gilmore again on the puck for Toronto. Coming back out, Gilmore gets a pass, and he's got some room to get in. But a good play getting back. Boughton chasing Gilmore again. Big Boughton takes Gilmore in on the boards. The Leafs have the puck in there. Borshevsky along the boards, and back of the net he goes. Again, Boughton is in there to watch Gilmore. And the puck is stopped at the blue line. Gilmore and Borshevsky cruising in there looking for it. The Jets get it out. The Leafs dump it back in right on the net. The 2 teams are changing. Puck is shot across center. Nearly offside. Mironov turning for Toronto. Ahead to Osborne, and he rifles it in. Emerson at the far side has to go back. Winnipeg Jets looking to tie the game early in the second period. They've had some pretty good chances in the first. But again, that good checking game of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Really, the chances came from outside the big circle. Either side of putt bands. Quintal coming back. nearing the 2-minute mark of period number 2. Toronto 1, Winnipeg no score. Jets organizing. Here they come. Kachuk takes the pass at center and shoots it in. Lefebvre will go over to try to stop Solani, but he can't. Solani gets in there with a shot. And Lefebvre blocked it, and then it's cleared by Berg. Here, Berg brings it up to center. It is knocked down there. Toronto on the loose puck. Played in by Eastwood. Quintal by Eastwood. The Jets dump it in. Tomlinson stopped by McCown. And the Toronto Maple Leafs just flip it down the ice. Moving in back. King had dropped the glove and his stick. And he looked as if he was going to go at it. The puck is shot down the ice. Maple Leafs, Todd Gill back. Vanderbilt takes the pass on the boards. Ahead to Gill. He had to pull back from Domi, though. Tomlinson circling. King has it. Here's the crowd. Up and going. King ridden out of the play by Zezel. Kennedy had his man covered. Here's Vanderbilt. He put a weak shot in at the net. It was blocked in front of the goal. And down comes Ty Domi. Shot it in on the boards by Ellett. Giving chase is Domi. But it's the Toronto Maple Leafs who pick it up at the blue line and they get it out. Kudashov didn't get very far with it. Speed picking up a bit now in the second period. And it's Domi doing it again, getting it over the line. Now he is heading off as Anderson takes the pass. Anderson shot, blocked, rebound. And it goes back to the net and the Jets cover. Shannon had to wait for the pass. Bumped by Anderson when he did get it. And Gill gives it to Ellett. Ellett pushed it ahead. Baumgartner through center to Kudashov. Kudashov is stopped. Eagles rides him in on the boards in the corner. Shannon takes a hit from Baumgartner. The Jets do not get it out on the first try. On the second, they are successful. Shannon shooting it all the way down the ice. And the play is called on the offside. The Leafs are leading 1-0.
The next portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC is brought to you by Imperial Oil and Esso Associates, who invite you to discover the Esso Tiger spirit of service.
Well, early in that last shift, Bob, Chris King and Berg got into it. And they seem to be all set to go. You can see the Chris King takes his right glove off. Berg turns the offer down. No penalties. King, Domi, two tough customers.
Gilmore, Andrechuk, and Borshevsky, the line for the Maple Leafs. Isabart, Samnov, and Steen for Winnipeg. Steen threw it from center ice. Got it across the Leaf line. Andrechuk couldn't hang on to the pass. Shot goes in off the stick of Dmitry Marinov. And Rouse leaves it for Gilmore. Back to Rouse. Coming out. The lead pass goes astray. And the Jets shoot it over the Leaf line again. They're in on it. Forechecking. Isabart passed it in around the net. Zemnov stopped in there. And the Leafs shoot it down the ice. That's going to be an icing call. Goes all the way. And back. Winnipeg Jets to touch it. And we'll return to the Winnipeg Arena after this message.
Color Clean, the color go to kitchen cleaner in 87 designer shades. For greasy stovetops, Clean and Tola stain-specific spray, now available in bacon fat.
Cleaning your home shouldn't be this complicated. Try new Vim Microliquid. It's specially concentrated to replace ordinary all-purpose cleaners and spray cleaners. Concentrated Vim Microliquid, the only all-purpose cleaner.
Introducing beef-flavored Squirt and Scrub, the pet-friendly toilet bowl cleaner.
In about a week? Okay, thanks.
Okay, Johnny, back to your cell.
Hey, Johnny, package for you.
When you can't pop out for popcorn, you need the best popcorn popper in the world, the Schneider's Theater 2 Popcorn Popper. Our Theater 2 will pop a huge bowl of popcorn in a fraction of the time of all other poppers. Our seeds taste the best, and with over 17 delicious flavors to choose from, the popping will never end. Taste it for yourself. Schneider's Popcorn Parties, 1-800-665-6484.
Only one goal in the game so far, that in the first period. Eastwood from Osborne and Mironov at 11-19. Jets haven't had a shot in this period yet. The Leafs have had two. So the checking is close. And what else is new? Seem to be going, but they stay on the outside thanks to the guys coming back.
The top 5 scorers for the Jets have had one shot among them in the first period. And the Jets have only had 2 chances to score. And we're coming up to the 26-minute mark of the game.
Winnipeg Jets start out. A neat pass through center to Zamnov over the line. He dropped it neatly. Steen in. Steen's low shot. A weak one. Stopped easily. Out for Borshevsky, and he's coming in. Borshevsky and Gilmore, and he's in the slot. Back to Andreychuk going in. He scores! Andreychuk made a beautiful move in front of Bob Essensa and waited for Essensa to commit himself. That he did. And the league's leading goal scorer put it by him.
It's goal number 62 for Dave Andreychuk in less than a year for the Leafs. Borshevsky puts it to Gilmore, who cuts across in front, and Andreychuk with the big long reach. Looks like he's going to go all the way around Essensa and then slides it under him as Bob Essensa tries to sprawl to make the save. A goal scorer's goal if you've ever seen one.
Pretty play by Andreychuk. Took the pass and barreled his way into the slot area right in front of the goal. And put it by Essensa. 2-0 Toronto. So McCown takes a hit behind his own net. But Chuck went in there and nailed him. Puck over the boards at the Winnipeg bench. We'll take a moment here and check with Ron McLean, who has this update for us.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. We go back to the Montreal Forum. The Florida Panthers are taking it to the Canadiens. Andre Lomakin scores from former Hab Jesse Belanger. Patrick Roy gets a piece of it, but not enough. It's the Panthers leading the Habs 3-0 in the second.
The Leafs leading the Jets 2-0 in the second here in Winnipeg. Andreychuk at 5:49, the second goal from Gilmore and Borshevsky. So that line is really clicking again for the Maple Leafs. Jets shoot it down the ice to their big guy, Solani. He's in, but covered by McCown. Toronto do not get it out. Quintal shot. Pass. Saw that one all the way. Centered again. Back to the line, Newmanen. Emerson had one chance, but couldn't hang on to the pass. 3 Leafs go behind the net to try and pick it up, and they do that. And Anderson rifled it off the stick of Quintal, and it's all the way back into the Winnipeg zone, allowing the 2 teams to make changes. As we come up to the 7-minute mark of the second period, the Leafs intercept. Zazzle takes a look in front. He sees Vanderbilt, but he couldn't quite find it. Vanderbilt falling along with Newmanen. They both get back up, and Zazzle centered it. It goes by everybody down inside the Leaf line. Toronto 2, Winnipeg no score on this Saturday night. Domi on the ice again. With a light bump from Vanderbilt. Now Domi is giving chase inside the Leaf line. Kent knocked down the pass off the stick of Papin. Hit the glass before it went out.
In today's sea of beers, one beer breaks through.
service. It's more than just repairing your car. It's a friendly, helpful attitude, a good explanation and an accurate estimate, a ride to work, and of course getting your car fixed as quickly as possible. At Landau Lincoln Mercury, we have the staff and equipment to handle the biggest jobs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But it's the little things that really make the difference, like bringing your car right to the service department door.
Landau Lincoln Mercury. What a dealership should be.
Timo Solani's been held silent tonight, but look what he did. He got to 100 career goals in 130 games. Only Mike Bossy did it faster. The big test now for the young Finnish players. Will he turn out to be as good as those other four? He's among their company in the first 100. What about the next 100?
And the face-off deep in the Leaf zone. Leafs scramble for the puck, and they get it out. Allen put it over the Winnipeg blue line. Ulanov back. That'll be icing. He just shot it away and all the way down the ice, and Allen the first one back. Icing called against Winnipeg. The Leafs are leading the Jets 2-0. We played 7 minutes, 45 seconds in the second period.
Well, Dave Ellett, one of the 2 Leafs that once played for the Jets, the other being Mark Osborne, 16 power play points. And as I mentioned early in the game, with the Leafs getting their 6th regular defenseman back, Pat Burns has the luxury of not playing any 1 or 2 of them more than he wants to. And he had to do that for nearly 6 weeks when Ellett and Todd Gill missed so many games.
Berehowski is on the ice again now, teamed up with Ellett. Had 1 shift in the first period. Berehowski, number 55. Randy Gillam going to the boards in his own zone. Right away, Berg saw him and stopped him. But the Jets get it out. Domi takes a hit from Baumgartner. Right in on the net for Potvin. He'll hang on to it.
Ty Domi, played 2 games for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 89-90 series. Not much ice time, although he got on enough to acquire 42 penalty minutes in those 2 games. And he, of course, has led the Jets in that department since coming here. Almost every time Domi goes out, Burns tries to get Baumgartner out there. And I think the reason is that he doesn't want one of those shifts that Domi and King can lift the spirits of the whole Jet team without going through Baumgartner first.
Newmanen comes in and tries a shot. That will get into the seats, I believe, yes. Off a stick from a very sharp angle. Newmanen tried that shot. And there's the souvenir.
Well, as usual in any Canadian city on a Saturday night, the Leafs draw quite a number of fans out. And so in the Winnipeg Arena, you see almost, I would say, if not more, Leaf sweaters on fans than you do Jet sweaters. And there's exactly what I'm talking about right there. They think they play for the Leafs, those 3 guys. They're on the 5th line.
Well, they make the trip from places like Thunder Bay and Kenora and all around to see the Leafs. And their team leading, if it is their team, 2-0 tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. With 11:53 remaining in the second period. The shots in the period are 3-2 in favor of Toronto. So the close checking continues. And it's Sylvain Lepage with McCown taking the pass. Starting out with Gilmore taking over at center and lifting one in from there. Andrechuk, who has given the Leafs a 2-0 lead here in this period. Went in there looking for it. Solani will steal it. This beautiful skater is coming to center. He saw his man up there, Kachuk. And Potvin got a piece of that. What a great pass it was, though. Here's Kachuk, and he fans on this one. Borchevsky took a look, and he saw Gilmore with him and gave it to him. Gilmore can't get it around the defenseman, Teppo Newmanen. What a dandy pass that was from Solani all the way up to the Leaf line. There's Solani himself this time. Put it back, and the Leafs have a 2-on-1. Gilmore coming in, and Anderson going in for the net. And the puck bouncing went over the stick of Anderson. Gilmore coming out front. Gilmore scores! Doug Gilmore, a magnificent shift for Gilmore. He set up Anderson, but the puck bounced over the winger's stick. Gilmore stayed with it, and out front waited, and another pretty goal for the Leafs.
Well, if you wanted to watch a player play without a helmet, if you're a young fan and didn't see it, here's what it looked like. Gilmore saw the corner to the right and very patiently just put it by Bob Essenza. An awful play by Stefan Quintel, reaching down instead of trying to take the man, and Gilmore is Gilmore, I guess, and gets a typical goal.
Made it look easy. It is a 3-0 Toronto lead. Leafs are in there again. Anderson going high and just missing. Anderson assisted on that goal by Gilmore. At 9:08. 3-0 Toronto. The Jets nearly get one. Mountain takes another shot. Again, Potvin got a piece of it back in the net. The Jets working around. Shannon hangs onto it. Trying to slide it down to Yzerberg. He's backed off to the boards. Yzerberg going to open ice. And the Leafs, without any problem, pick that up and clear it all the way down the ice. It'll be an icing call against Toronto. That last scoring play, Gilmore from Anderson at 9:08, 3-0.
The Esso Tiger Teeth talks quality.
I think the thing that impresses me most about Esso is that it's a great level of quality all the way down. There's a great amount of care taken in everything that Esso does, no matter if it's in the high executive levels or down where we are. When you're pumping gas, you give the same quality as you know that the people in the upper levels get. And the most rewarding thing about the job is when people say, "Thank you very much," and they smile back at you and they say, "I'll be back."
You're on your way with Esso.
The Leafs, you have to control these two guys. 24 points in the last 5.5 games. They had 3-0 tonight. They each have a goal, and they won the 5 previous games. So there's no secret on how to stop the Leafs. The question is, can you do it?
Gilmore from Anderson, the latest scoring play at 9:08. Andrechuk scored earlier. Eastwood in the first period. 3-0 Toronto. With under 10 minutes left to play in the second period. Giveaway in there for King, and his shot hit Andrechuk. And Andrechuk wasted a little time. Second attempt, he shot it away down the ice. However, it does go for an icing call, and the face-off will be back inside the Leaf line.
Well, Pat Burns, I'm sure, made it pretty clear to his team that Winnipeg has to beat you by scoring goals. They will not beat you with good defensive play. They're 24th in the league. Don Cherry's sitting behind Pat Burns there, as you can see, feeding him tidbits of information. The one that Burns keeps hearing from Cherry is, put Gilmore on, put Gilmore on.
Not a bad idea. Gilmore assisted on the Andrechuk goal. Scored one himself to make it 3-0 here in the second period. And the shots are 12-11 in favor of Toronto. That's over a period and a half. Plus 40 seconds. Here's Steen. Dropped it all the way to the blue line. Kennedy shot one into the corner. Through the crease it goes. Osborne could not catch up to it. King will take it for Winnipeg. Shot it in there. Here's King. He'll get a drive. Potvin got enough of that and then held it. Hit his pad. Came up into his glove with Ty Domi trying to knock it loose. More action around the league, and Ron is covering all of that for us. Ron?
Well, Bob, there are, sorry, Felix, but shutouts all around the league right now. Florida up 3-zip. 3-zip, the story for Toronto here, and it's Calgary all over Ottawa. Al McInnes scores the 4th goal of the game. His 15th of the year on the power play from Fleury and Nieuwendyk, and Joel Otto has just scored for Calgary. 5-0. They lead the Senators at the Dome.
Felix Potvin on the road, 8-7-3. And if there's any question about whether he's recovered his poise and his confidence and his superior play after about a bad 2 weeks, I think he's answering it every night he plays now.
Zamnon on there against Zezel. Zezel, one of the premier face-off artists in the National Hockey League, won that draw for Toronto, and the puck is cleared out. Solani just missed it. He had full head of steam up at center ice. Quintal along his own line. Numanen to Tkachuk. He's turned around just inside the leaf line. Berg made sure of that and then skated away to center. Put a shot into the right of the goal, and Solani picked it up but then lost it. Berg was hit hard on the boards. Manderville back of the net trying to dig it out. Zezel there with him. Zezel to Manderville. Back to Zezel. Zezel looking from the corner back to the line. That was a wicked pass. And off the stick of Lefebvre and out the center. 8:15 left in the second period. Winnipeg scoreless in the game, looking for their first. The Leafs have scored 3 times. Can't go in on that rush. Quintal had to deflect it in, and the Jets are making changes. The count back. Long pass to Gilmore. Gilmore for Toronto, on with Andrechuk and Borshevsky again. That big line coming in. Jets back, but they don't clear it. Mironov flipped it in back of the net. It's centered now. Andrechuk. Sharp angle, and now checked well by Shannon. Now he gets loose. Goes back of the goal. One hand on the stick. He's hauled down. Still tries to maneuver the puck around. Looks back for a penalty call, but it doesn't come. The Jets are in. Great save by Potvin. 2-on-1 Toronto. Andrechuk and Gilmore. Gilmore, Borshevsky, and he missed a chance. Back of the net, Gilmore again. This line is dynamite. And down goes Essenza. The puck loose. Gilmore for the wraparound. Can't knock it in. Gilmore again back there. The Jets just hanging on now and get it out. What a line this is for Pat Burns, Maple Leafs, Gilmore, Borshevsky, and Andrechuk. Great puck sense. And they were away on a 2-on-1 again. All right, here's Gilmore one more time. Into Anderson this time. Anderson's shot, sharp angle, hit the side of the net. Essence had dropped it then. And the Jets get a hold of it and get it out. Backhanded in by Steen. 3-0 Toronto. 6:25 remaining in the second period. Anderson onside, takes the pass. In it goes to Osborne! And a good save by Essenza. Osborne appeared to have made the right move and went around the goaltender. But Bob Essenza stopped him.
I have a blind date tonight, and you know what they say about first impressions. Do I reveal my nutritious, ready-for-commitment side with 100% whole wheat, or do I let loose the fun-loving Mr. Mini-Wheat with my great-tasting light frosting? I really wanted to like me.
Then show her both sides, Mr. Mini-Wheat.
You think so?
Yeah, show her everything a Mini-Wheat from Kellogg's has got, and she'll be back for more.
You'll never leave my side.
Well, now, Mr. Mini-Wheat.
She'll be my true love forever. Oh.
Let's not get carried away.
Bob Cole and Harry Neal, Ron McLean and Don Cherry. Don Cherry night at the Winnipeg Arena, where the Leafs are leading 3-0 over the Winnipeg Jets. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in the second. Long shot, a loose puck. Osborne doesn't get there, but here's Gill. He's in the slot, decides not to shoot it. The Leafs in full control of the Winnipeg Jets at this point in the second period. Now Domi. Steen is stopped by Anderson, who got back. Gallant takes it in his own zone. Gallant's pass up along the boards, nearly hit Osborne, but he has to go off. The Leafs make changes with 5:45 remaining in the period. Domi saw a hit coming from Manderville, got rid of it. Puck is hit over the line, and the play whistled down, and Domi and Manderville now kicked, and they're having some words near center ice. Vanderbilt had hit Domi and then went after the puck, and Domi gave chase, and then King came in.
Vanderbilt, boy, what a rebirth he's having here. He's skating better. He's much tougher. He's winning draws. He's forechecking. Ty Domi and Chris King trying to rally the Jets, but can't do it. This is Peter Zeslow's second game back since missing 40 games with a back injury. In his first game back, he got thrown out near the end of the first period for spearing. And he may be as good a third center as there is in the league. Kills penalties, wins draws, and chips in offensively, enough to keep the opposition honest.
5 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the second period. The cold Winnipeg City today, I'll tell you, 30 degrees, minus 30 Celsius. And the news is that it's going down to minus 36 next week.
So the walk we're going to have after the game's off tonight, is it, Bob?
It's off. Especially tonight. Off most nights, you know that. 5:15 to go in the second. Pass across center. Randy Gillen, offside.
Well, let's have another look around the other town scoreboard. Ron McLean's keeping you up to date on that one. He's keeping you up to date on this one. Perhaps he hasn't mentioned some of the other ones. Boston giving Detroit a run in Boston. Boston struggling at the moment. That was this afternoon. Second period, Quebec, boy, they're in the tank big time. The Islanders have fought from behind to tie Chicago. L.A., after all those goals in the first period, maintained the one-goal lead. And in the second period, Buffalo St. Louis neither can score, and this one has yet to start on the West Coast.
And I understand, Harry, that Buffalo has already had a big day today.
Yes, the Buffalo...
You were nervous for a while.
I was nervous this morning.
Yes.
I was nervous the first half, I can tell you that. However, I enjoyed it, and there's another game next Sunday. You be sure to be watching.
Chuck brings it up and got hammered at the lead blue line. Quintal going rink wide with that pass. Newman shot it in. The Jets go in after it. At the line, Quintal again. Anderson didn't see it. Newman did. And Lefebvre was back, but here's Talani stealing it. Talani left it behind the net, got it again. Talani trying to get away from McCown. McCown took the puck away from him calmly. But Solani once more staying in there on the boards. To Tkachuk. Tkachuk is stopped by Eastwood, who comes back. He's knocked down. Puck is underneath him. Eastwood wanted a penalty call. He is saying he was hooked from behind. Might have been. Well, more updates. They come fast and furiously now. Here's Ron.
Bob, we'll have a mercy rule here shortly. Poor Ottawa's really having a tough time at Calgary this evening after the Flames make it 6-zip. Wes Walz, who's been tremendous, sets up another goal here as the Flames make it 7-0. But the story is the fact that the shots are now 32-7 for Calgary in this romp at the Saddledome.
Well, one thing the Leafs have done very well tonight against this dangerous Solani line is the 3-on-3 defensive zone coverage. And here's a good little 10-second clip to show you, if you're patient after you select your man, things will eventually go your way.
Toronto Maple Leafs. Eastwood up to center ice. He scored the first goal of the game. The first period at 11:19. Here in the second, goals added by Andrechuk and Gilmore. Number 37 for Andrechuk on the season. 3-0 Toronto Leafs.
So you pretty much know what to expect from eternal champions, huh? Well, maybe not. You see, it has these 9 huge warriors. And they've got more ways than ever to kick your butt. You may never look at other fighting games the same way.
Eternal Champions, only on Sega Genesis.
Whoa.
In our second intermission, the Jets captain Keith Tkachuk will be along to chat with Ron McLean. After 40 minutes tonight, we're going to look and talk with the two coaches of the New Jersey Devils, Jacques Lemaire and Larry Robinson. They've done a tremendous job for the Devils this year. That's coming up in our second intermission. We are 4:14 playing time away from intermission number 2. The Leafs are leading 3-0. And Gilmore on the ice again with Andreychuk and Borshevsky. Been responsible for the 2 scoring plays in this period. Andreychuk got one of them, Gilmore the other. And the Jets are coming out against that big line of the Leafs. Solani is on the ice, but offside is called at the Toronto blue line. Closed captioning of this telecast is brought to you by Household, providing Canadians with a variety of financial services.
Number 15 for the Winnipeg Jets in the WHA, Anders Hedberg. Bobby Hull in the WHA was second in the overall goal scoring, 303 in 411 games. Mark Tardif was ahead of him, and there's Bobby retired number banner. One also hangs in the Chicago Stadium.
Under 4 minutes left of the second period at Winnipeg. Toronto in control, but here's Solani. He was about 3 feet wide with that shot. Burst of speed, but out was Potvin to cut the angle, and he missed the net by about 3 feet. Well, he's on the ice again, getting another pass. Up across center and in with Newman in, but he couldn't hang on to it. Berg nearly got away at center ice. Chuck cut back to get in front of him. Here is Solani again. Nice pass, goes in through the middle. Zemnov is stopped. And the Leafs continue that close checking inside the line. Gregson, the referee, was nailed by Tkachuk and knocked down inside the Leaf line. The Leafs are in there on the attack. Berg trying to pick it up and cannot. Gilmore went in. Newman steals the puck for Winnipeg. 3 minutes left in the period. Puck is shot by Ellett down the ice. Lonnie with some great speed in the last shift. And 1 or 2 good chances. One especially went in on Potvin, who was out cutting the angle, and he missed the net. Ellett shot one. A hard shot by Ellett, and Essenza off balance. Just barely got the glove up to grab that.
Well, as you mentioned, Ron McLean will talk to Captain Keith Tkachuk, the Winnipeg Jets, the youngest captain in the National League at 21. I think he's the Winnipeg Jets' best all-around player. He leads the team in goals. He leads the team in plus with a +6. Last year, after 46 games, he had 26 points. This year, after 46 games, 52 points, and hits everything that moves. And he's given Terry Gregson one of the better body checks of the night right there.
Gregson is okay. I'll tell you, Tkachuk is okay. He's a great young hockey player.
Just beginning what should be an illustrious career. I was a little worried. I don't know the kid very well, but I was a little worried at 21 on this team where team chemistry seems to escape them, whether that was too much of an assignment to give him to be captain of this Winnipeg Jet ship with so many people from so many different countries. But it hasn't affected his personal performance at all.
Ever talked to him?
Yes, he's an impressive kid.
He's a real leader.
Well, he's got a big leadership job with this club.
Well, they're down 3-0 in this game to the Maple Leafs. Ellett gave it away. Domi with a chance here. And he went for the short side and didn't miss by much. Domi is in the corner. Flipped it back at the net. Took a hit as he did as Baumgartner is watching him. Now it's the Leafs getting the puck out. Osborne ahead to Baumgartner. Baumgartner going in. Went on the glass with it. The puck ends up back at the net. Eastwood is in there for the Maple Leafs. Osborne coming in to help. Dumped it along the corner boards, and it's Domi again getting it out. Baumgartner brushed him lightly. Osborne at center. 2 minutes left in the period. It is shot in. Domi cruising around, having a look now. Poor Baumgartner, I believe. Now Vanderbilt and Domi bump together in the center ice area. The Jets go in after the puck. Again, the Leafs cleared quickly. There's Domi putting the grab on Vanderbilt, who just skated away from him. Domi forgot everything and grabbed Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt just skated on. There's Vanderbilt stealing the puck in back of the net. Vanderbilt trying to shake loose. He's caught by Mironov. Zessel centered one. Anderson coming in. Can't get the backhander. Loose puck there. And the Jets sprawling in front of Bob Essensa. Keep it out. The Leafs really counting the Jet zone on this ship.
I was Toronto, I'd be turning down every opportunity to have a battle with Domi or King. The Winnipeg Jets need something huge to happen that makes them have a little success. Sometimes a fight does that. If you let Domi or King talk you into it.
King has drawn a minor penalty for cross-checking out of that skirmish.
These teams play each other 6 times. Settle some of your differences when you're ahead 3-0 on another time. Domi gets a breakaway here. Look where Potvin is. He knows Domi's going to shoot. I don't think Domi saw much of it, and he was also being headed off right there, and he could feel the Leaf player Todd Gill chasing him, and he couldn't have cut in, so he had to shoot. Ty hasn't scored many goals from 30 feet out.
Well, this penalty comes at 18:41, so a minute 19 left in the period, and the penalty belongs to Chris King of the Winnipeg Jets. They can ill afford to give one up here late in the period, but the Leafs go on a power play now, leading 3-0. Face off to the left of Essensa. Newman tries to clear it. Does a pretty good job with that. Rifling the puck on the boards in the corner, and it pounded off the boards and got all the way down the ice. Toronto line up with the extra man. Up the center is Gill. Over the line is Gill. A pass in there for Gilmore, and he couldn't knock it down. We're in the final minute of the second period now, and it's Elliott back. Turning with Gill, Borshevsky to his right. Gilmore comes back to circle with Elliott. And the pass intended for Gilmore, but he couldn't move on that. Gave it to Elliott again. The Leafs crisscrossing. Finally, they shoot it in. Eagles takes it on a skate. Newman in back of the net. Does not move it quickly, but he gets his second opportunity. It is stopped by Elliott. Elliott and Andrechuk get together. Andrechuk all the way to the boards with it. Hangs on to it, leaves it in the corner for Gilmore. Gilmore roll the puck back. Now Elliott takes the shot. That's stopped by Essensa, the goaltender falling, with Gilmore and Andrechuk in the crease area. 11 seconds left in the period.
A great point shot here. Dave Elliott's not trying to score. He's keeping it down where it can be tipped, and it was tipped by Andrechuk. But Bob Essensa, sprawling save to stop it from rolling behind him for the 4th Leaf goal.
That's the Leafs' 10th shot in the period.
Puck goes to the point. You go to the front of the net if you're a forward on the power play. And both Gilmore and Andrechuk were nearly rewarded with another goal under those circumstances. One of Andrechuk's great skills, hand-eye coordination. He gets a stick on a lot of point shots.
Andrechuk and Gilmore have added goals for the Maple Leafs here in the second period. Eastwood had scored in the first. 5:49 and 9:08 the time of the Leaf goals here in the second. Making it 3-0. Puck loose inside the line of the Jets. Eagles comes out to center ice. 5 seconds remaining. And one final shot on goal by Quintal was stopped by Potvin. And the horn goes to end the period. The shots on goal in the period were even at 10 apiece. And coming up, as promised, Captain Keith Tkachuk will be along to chat with Ron McLean. The score of at the end of 2 periods here in Winnipeg. The Toronto Maple Leafs 3, the Winnipeg Jets no score.
Introducing Red Lobster's 20 shrimp and more platters. For a short time, when you order 20 of our succulent shrimp, you get more, like 20 shrimp and a juicy steak, 20 shrimp and sweet scampi tails, or 20 shrimp and steaming crab legs, and each one specially priced. That's 20 freshly prepared Red Lobster shrimp and either snow crab legs, scampi tails, or steak, plus all the extras. So get more tonight, only at Red Lobster Canada.
I've always been good with numbers. My friends thought that was boring. When I told them I wanted a career in financial management, they thought that was boring. I decided the CGA program was the best for me. It gave me the financial background and computer expertise I needed to succeed in business. They're ready for you in the boardroom. Now I'm a certified general accountant, and there's nothing boring about the boardroom.
CGA, wherever sound financial decisions are made.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
At Parkside Ford, we make it possible for you to afford a beautiful new Ford like this. But you only pay for this much. That's right, only about half. You pay for this, and you drive home in this. Or this. How about this one? That's why they call us Parkside Ford.
Come on out to a Ford country, Parkside Ford.
Ever dreamed of a showdown with one of the best goalies in the NHL? McDonald's can make your dream come true with Upper Deck Fantasy Pack cards. 4 cards, 49 cents with the purchase of a drink. You can win a trip to a Stanley Cup game via Canadian, ice time with Pepple Bure, a showdown with Patrick Waugh, or one of 150,000 great prizes. When you belong to CAA Manitoba, it means we'll be there to help. Not only when you need a boost, but anytime you need a helping hand. We can help you plan your trip, from reservations and holiday packages, to passport photos, to travel health insurance. Let us help. Become a CAA Manitoba member.
For everywhere you go today, go with CAA.
Take one.
For 8 o'clock. We're going to see some pretty rapid changes as the first hour with the police, what you got? Rescue crews covering about 800,000
Live, up to the minute, CBC Morning News, weekdays on CBC Television.
CBC News with Paul Hunter. Here's a quick look at some of the stories we're watching for tonight's National. A brutal freeze is gripping much of the country. Cold weather records are snapping all over Ontario, and a severe cold weather warning is in effect for Quebec. U.S. figure skating officials are reviewing Tonya Harding's status on the Olympic team. Several reports are linking her to that attack on rival skater Nancy Kerrigan. U.S. President Bill Clinton is in Geneva getting ready for a summit meeting with Syrian leader Hafez al-Assad. The federal government holds the first of its conferences on the coming budget. Finance Minister Paul Martin wants to decrease the budget numbers without increasing taxes. And Canadians seem to be changing their attitudes about new cars. We'll take a look at how that's affected North American automakers. Those stories and more later on the National. Now, back to Hockey Night in Canada.
Hello to all my fans here in Winnipeg. Good to be in Winnipeg. Love you guys. Love these fans. You got a good one here in that Keith Tachak. Love that guy. I'm telling you, he's from Boston. He's a good one. That Ty Domi, I go to war with that guy. How about that Dougie Gilmore? That Dougie Gilmore.
That's Jim Bell, and this is Keith Tachak. He says Kachuk joining us here in the second intermission. They had a Don Cherry lookalike contest, and I think Jim Bell just won it. So congratulations to him. Keith, your hero, Don Cherry, when you were in Boston as a kid?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he was a hero of mine. I mean, watching him behind the bench was great. He had a great team there, and wish you were still around coaching.
Yeah, what a great start you personally are off to. What about the team? You win over Buffalo. You just can't seem to get on a roll. What's going on tonight?
Well, I think we haven't had a streak going at all lately, and that's going to kill us. Last year we had 10-game winning streak, and we can't seem to get anything going. Big win at home against Buffalo, and tonight we can't get any shots on net. Toronto's playing very well, but we have to come out in the third strong and get some shots on Potvin.
The guys asked me about the plus-minus. You have the remarkable ability to have a great plus-minus when Solani and others who are up around the scoring lead don't. Ty Domi says you get off the ice at the end of shift so you don't get caught when those scoring chances happen. Is that it?
I don't listen to him. He just bugs me about that. That's not true. Come on.
You know, Canada's only lost once ever to the USA in World Junior Championship play. Foos in Germany, and you were responsible. Got a highlight that you can recall, 1992, you beat Canada 5-3?
Oh, yeah, I think Ty is referring to me being captain on that team. That was a big thrill. I don't think, I was playing against Canada. We never beat them, and that was a big thrill. They had Lindros, they had a good team, and we went on to win the bronze medal, but that was a big win against Canada.
Well, the Jets must thank their blessings that when they moved Howard-Chuck, they ended up with you in the lineup and a 21 captain. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Ron.
Keith Tkachuk of the Winnipeg Jets, his club embroiled in a tough one tonight with Toronto, with a third period, though, still to come. Now we pause for After 40 Minutes.
After 40 Minutes. Brought to you by Fiberglass Canada and Owens Corning Company.
Tonight on After 40 Minutes, the most explosive player in the NHL this season, Detroit's Sergei Fedorov, plus a special feature with Big Bird and Coco.
When you're looking for the best insulation for your home, remember, not all insulation is the same. Watch out for imposters. Do it right. Do it pink. When you're looking for the best insulation for your home, remember, not all insulation is the same. Watch out for imposters. Do it right. Do it pink.
Welcome back to the big suspense. Big Bird and Coco to lead things off this evening. It's a story that really began in 1983 in the Quebec Major Junior League. That year, the final was supposed to feature Laval, led by Mario Lemieux, against Verdun with Pat LaFontaine. Pat had won the scoring race, although Mario the following year blew all the records away. Laval was first overall in regular season standing, and in the first round, they went up against an expansion team from Longueuil. Well, wouldn't you know it, Longueuil took Laval and Mario Lemieux right out of contention in that opening series. That team was coached by Jacques Lemaire. The next year, he did something for the Canadians. He inserted Steve Penny in the playoffs, and they had a great run going to the conference finals, and he's still doing it today as coach of the New Jersey Devils. They're third overall in the NHL right now, and he's with a former Montrealer, Big Bird, two-time Norris Trophy winner, Larry Robinson. Robinson and Coco Lemaire get us rolling tonight on After 40 Minutes.
In practices, I sat down with Larry at first and tell them exactly what I want from the defenseman, and we discussed and, polish everything. Then I went through all the defensemen and tell them exactly what I wanted, and then Larry could teach.
I find that Jacques a great hockey mind, and I found that not only through playing with him, but playing for him for a year here. I was really impressed with the way that he handles himself in front of the players as far as getting his point across. And the fact that he was a player, I think, helps in a lot of the decisions. But he's always got the players' best interests in mind, and naturally the team. But he's just been super to work with.
Jacques and Mary have given us a great system to play, and we're all working hard and playing well. And the biggest thing, we're playing consistent. We haven't really had many ups and downs, and that's why our record is the way it is right now.
The feeling in the dressing room and the confidence the players have in each other is really showing, with the way that teams play. The guys have confidence in the system we're playing that the coaches have taught us, and they also have confidence in each other that they're going to go out and work hard for each other. So I think, the team's really come together, maybe more so than in past years with New Jersey.
Jacques is a student of the game, and also with Larry too. You know, he's one of Jacques' best moves he made was his first when he got a hold of Larry as the assistant coach. With the two of them, they've got the experience, and I think the other thing too, they've got the respect of the guys on the team, and you have to have that nowadays in coaching. And so with the two of those guys running the team, you know they're going to be prepared, you know they're going to be ready, and you know, we just know that they're not going to make a lot of foolish mistakes.
Jacques, again, makes the final decisions, and he's the one that has to make those decisions, and basically when guys are unhappy, I have to kind of be the buffer and smooth things over a little bit. So that's the situation that I enjoy most.
This season, I want to be successful. I want to have a good team, respected in the league, and do the best we can. And then I'll go through the following year, and I'll keep going like that till the day that I said that this is enough.
Jacques Lemaire, who's credited with bringing the trap overseas, this defensive posture the teams are using, although it existed long before that, but he got out of coaching, said he couldn't stand all the hype and all the media, and yet, lo and behold, Lou Lamoriello comes to him, and what a job he's done along with his pal Larry Robinson in New Jersey. They're not the only former Montreal Canadiens to be enjoying a good thing right now. How about Scotty Bowman and the Detroit Red Wings? The team's rolling lately, in part because of a man who could be the first ever to win the Art Ross for the scoring title and the Selke for best defensive forward. Here's a profile on Sergei Fedorov.
Fedorov. He made a kick out, gets into the shot, scores!
He's a player, as a coach, you can't get him on the ice enough because of his ability to play two ways.
Fedorov for the hat trick. The backhand, centering pass. Dino Ciccarelli!
I think Sergei, right now, I would say he's probably the best player in the league.
I've played 14 years and seen a lot of guys play, and I've never seen a guy skate as well or as strong as Sergei Fedorov.
Fedorov may be gone. Being chased by Carney. Fedorov able to shot. He scores!
I just came to this country and try to work as hard as I can and try to prove myself on the ice and just play my best.
There's no question he makes me a better player, and I think he's making the rest of the players on this team. Some of the things you don't see is his off-ice conditioning. After practices, after games, he's going to be one of the first guys on the bike or doing weights, and I see that, and other players see that, and they follow that.
The team started playing a little bit tougher and harder against me, and you're right, they pay much more attention than it was before the last 3 years.
Since I've been here, I think they've always tried to play him hard, but he's such a tough kid. I mean, a lot of the Europeans, they're either tough or they play soft, and Sergei's one tough guy. I think probably being from Russia, where they were brought up in a tough atmosphere, has helped him. I mean, I've seen him get stuck in the face, cross-check from behind, anything. He got up and battled twice as hard. He's one of the few players I've ever had that you know, you feel good after a win, you say something to him, and he might say, good coaching, or he's a very considerate person. Great guy, very humble, very likable, very approachable, likes everybody on the team, wants to be liked, and is great. He's a kid that's always willing to learn. If he wins a scoring title, he's going to deserve it. The battle, game in and game out with Wayne Gretzky. If he is lucky enough to beat Wayne, then he'd be very deserving.
As long as we play consistent and win some games during the season and do well in playoffs, that's probably goals I like to mention about myself, about my team.
Hats off to Fedorov. You can see he's a team guy. Imagine what he'll be like next week. Join us for the NHL All-Star Game, Saturday at 3 Eastern. The skills to follow at 8 Eastern as we bring you the best on Broadway.
After 40 minutes. Brought to you by Fiberglass Canada and Owens Corning Company. Critics declare Grumpy Old Men the comedy you've been waiting for.
Hi.
It's always magic time with Lemon and Matha. A delight, guaranteed to make you feel happy and young. Grumpy Old Men, now playing at a theater near you. please.
We know how sinus congestion feels. The pain, the pressure, because we're the sinus specialists. Sinutab has one concern, one expertise, relieving the pain of sinus congestion. Every sinus sufferer is unique, so we provide relief with specialized formulas. Why fight congestion any other way when Sinutab helps you leave it behind?
We're going public.
Well, I think what's great about Peter...
Good morning, I'm Peter Zosky. This is Morningside.
He's prepared for anybody that is coming into the studio, and he can carry on a conversation with you like you've been talking regularly for 2 or 3 years.
Good Bradford to Victorian? Whoops, that's a long one.
I just really put you at ease.
All-Star Saturday on CBC. First, live from New York, it's the NHL All-Star Game. Then, see the best players go head-to-head in the skills competition. The All-Star Game, the skills competition. The action begins next Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
We're back at the Winnipeg Arena where the Leafs are leading the Jets 3-0. Second period scoring, Andrechuk at 5:48 from Gilmore and Borshevsky. Gilmore from Anderson at 9:08. Shots even, 10 apiece. 3-0, Toronto leading. Yes, a lot of signs around the Winnipeg Arena tonight showing their support for Don Cherry. Don Cherry night. Borshevsky night. Scores! What a move by Borshevsky at 10 seconds into the third period. And it is 4-0.
Borshevsky had not scored a point in 3 games coming up to this one. This is a classic goal. He looks like he's done, and Essens has got him. And he went back to his forehand as Essens, with the poke check, was ready to poke it off him if he came across in front. And then he just went left at the last minute, and he had about an 8-inch space to slide it in. The whole Leaf bench stood up, and you don't see that very often in a National Hockey League game, that a player can stand his bench up with a move that's so extraordinary. Gregson is sending Kachukov to repair his elbow pad or his glove. There is a rule that says you can't have your elbow pad out of side of your sweater. And I think you can see it's his right arm. The sweater looks to be ripped. And as a result, the elbow pad is showing. And referee Gregson is making him tape the sweater on.
This goal by Borshevsky came at 10 seconds from Gilmore and Anderson. And what a move on the goaltender.
Boy, a goalie can pull his groin when he's deep like that. Essens is fully expecting Borshevsky to go to his backhand across the front of the net. Borshevsky at the last second changed his mind and put it in the narrow opening between Essens' pads and the goalpost. A beautiful effort.
So Toronto leads Winnipeg 4-0. And we're just into the third period. Jets shoot it down the ice. Leafs hustle back. And icing called against Winnipeg.
Well, what a record this is, Bob. When the Leafs have a healthy 6 defensemen, Dave Ellett being the last to come back, they are 11-1-1 and have only had the 6 for 13 games. I don't know whether that's coincidental or whether you can say that that rounds out their team, but with Dave Ellett returning and Todd Gill returning, the 6 defensemen that played so well in the playoffs last year, when they're in the lineup, they've lost it once in 13 games.
Zessel winning that draw to Lefebvre. Zessel nearly tipped one by the Winnipeg goaltender. Just missed it at the side of the net. The Leafs are in forechecking. Vanderbilt and Berg, and Vanderbilt takes the puck. Slapped it into the corner again, back to the net. That's Zessel, hit the mesh. And the referee, Terry Gregson, Whistle to play dead immediately. The puck on the mesh behind Essinger.
Well, it's one thing we know for sure. The Leafs, when they play defensively, the way they're playing tonight, they don't very often lose. Zamnoff and Solani, two of the most dangerous one-on-one players in the National Hockey League, have been held shotless tonight here nearly at the end of the first minute of the third period.
And again, the Gilmore line is on for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Gilmore is on the puck. Borchevsky behind the net. Andrechuk is in front. Andrechuk! Great save by Essenza. Andrechuk after back of the goal. It is Gilmore going into the corner with the help of Andrechuk. But it's Mironov for Winnipeg. Starting out, it's tucked up the center ice, and Gilmore was all the way back. Again, Andrechuk knocked it in over the Winnipeg line. Emerson there trying to take it away from Borchevsky. It is centered. The whistle goes. The puck was loose. Rather quick whistle. Essenza thought he had it. Didn't. And then had to jump out of the net to grab it. But the whistle had gone.
Nelson Emerson, who came over from St. Louis with Quintel for Phil Housley, leads the National Hockey League with 5 shorthanded goals. He has 17 power play points. He's, for the last three games, has been playing with Solani, and Solani has scored 4 goals in those 3 games, but that line's run up against a brick wall tonight.
Winnipeg unable to solve the checking of the Maple Leafs, and Felix Potvin. Berehowski's shot. Kurt Osborne hit him on the ankle, and he's hobbling around. He does not leave the ice, though. Baumgartner goes into the corner, deep in the Winnipeg zone. Feeds it into the corner, and Osborne coming in there. Eastwood is trapped along with Steen, and the puck is on the board, so they whistle it dead, and Osborne is trying to shake off that shot that was taken by Berehowski.
Well, it was about a 10-foot shot. Berehowski trying to get it through on a screen, and it hit Osborne, who stayed out there. Looks like he's recovering, but certainly fell it. There it is, a low shot. You can see it hit him right in the side of the ankle. No pads there.
Ulanov for Winnipeg. Stalls for some time. He waits for Steen to come back. Now brings it out himself with a long lead pass to Domi to King. And King shoots it in. Elliott, though, picking it up off the boards quickly, and Osborne was wide open. Osborne's pass to Baumgartner. He picks a high shot. That was rising all the way and got over the net. King gets it out. Domi will give chase against Elliott. Out of the net is Potvin, but Elliott got there in front of the goaltender to sweep it away, and it's out near center ice. Ulanov stopping with it. Did not see Berehowski move up. The Leafs are changing now as the Jets come back. Kennedy to Ulanov. Up through the middle, off the stick of Lefebvre, so no icing. And Lefebvre around the net. Solani forechecking. Lefebvre ahead to Berg with Zezel, and he shoots it in. There goes Vanderbilt. The chuck on him. Zamnov behind the net with Dumanev. He played it to the other side around the goal, and the Jets get it up to Solani. Tkachuk is with him. Solani given a bump, and Tkachuk trying to play it back in front, but 3 Leafs were there. Out for Zezel. Going to change now. Zezel shoots it in. Essenson coming out. Todd Gill will trap it, and Gill feeds it off the boards right into Quintal. Again, it's broken up at the Leaf blue line. Toronto leading 4-0. A little over 3 minutes gone in the third period. Solani back there. Zamnov with him now. And it's Quintal up to center. Into the Leaf zone it goes. Shannon moving up. He's around the net. Centers it, but by everyone down the ice. Eisenbart put it back in there for Shannon. Mironov of the Leafs back to touch it, and that will be icing. Shannon and Mironov with their sticks up. Very briefly, the officials are in quickly. They might get penalties anyway. This game is coming to you from the Winnipeg Arena.
When other
Others are blowing hot and cold about how beer is made. There is a beer which quietly and consistently delivers on its promise. Nobody delivers great beer taste and no aftertaste like Molson Special Dry. No beer. It just could be the best beer ever brewed, anytime, anywhere.
Today's true performance car is distinguished by many things. Its power, its responsiveness, but most of all, its unmistakable sounds. The Intrepid, a performance sedan that handles the road as well as your family.
Just the one penalty on that last play. It goes to the Leafs. Dmitry Mironov. It was the high stick.
Shannon gives him a wrap, and Mironov comes back around with the stick on the back of the helmet. The Leafs will kill a penalty off with 16-17 to go in the third period.
Winnipeg with a chance now on this power play. They get it up across center ice. Leafs are checking, though. They might steal it. Essence figured that and got out of the net, but Zessel stopped it anyway. And Quintal takes it. Another penalty coming up.
Solani's going to get it.
He took a swing at Zessel. Zessel went in behind the net. Forechecking, and there's going to be a slashing call, I'm sure, against Solani.
Well, not a bright penalty to take when your team's down 4-0 with a fair amount of time left in the game. And maybe if you can score in the power play, you can ignite an offense that's been completely invisible tonight. First, he takes a run and just misses Zessel. And Zessel, I don't know whether he talks to him or he just bumps him, and then...
I think he had a word with him.
Stupid.
Solani didn't like it, and you saw what he did, and there's where he is. Slashing at 4:02 of this third period. As we listen to the Hockey Night in Canada theme.
Now, you don't miss a thing, do you, Bob? Why don't you put words to that song and describe your illustrious career, perhaps?
Ooh. Way out of that one. Winnipeg looking forward to this game tonight with the Hockey Night in Canada crew and CBC here to do it coast to coast. And we are happy to have you with us, wherever you are in Canada. The Leafs are leading 4-0. A goal in the first, 2 in the second, another here in the third. And here's Andrechuk, who has one of the goals. Gilmore! Stopped by Essenza. These two have been dynamite, along with Borshevsky. Andrechuk gets the puck again. Trying to hook it back to Todd Gill. He falls to the ice, and Quintal has it. Sides are even as we speak. Steen off Andrechuk's stick. And here's Todd Gill. Pass up across center. That's offside. 38 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. 57 seconds in the Winnipeg penalty.
Well, Doug Gilmour had a chance to make it 5-0 on a great pass from Andrechuk. Bob Essenza comes up with perhaps his best save of the night. He's in alone, and he wants to go across in front. Essenza with that poke check and slides out and takes not only the puck off Gilmour's stick, but takes Gilmour out at the same time.
Winnipeg has called a timeout, and Tom Paddock is having a chat with his players, saying, look, 14:56 left, there's still time, and there's not much time left for the All-Star game. That's coming up next Saturday from New York's Madison Square Garden, and Molson Hockey Night in Canada will be there. The CBC will be carrying that game coast to coast. Skills competition and the All-Star game next weekend. The All-Star game will be in the afternoon. The skills, some of the heroes of days gone by in the evening. We're coming up to the 6-minute mark of the third period. Should remind folks that the game next Saturday in the afternoon, the skills competition, 8 Saturday night.
Well, Felix Potvin coming into tonight, 20 wins, tied him for the lead in that department. He's 14 minutes and 45 seconds away from making it 21.
Gotta remember to say Eastern time. Talking from Winnipeg, where the Jets are trying to talk their way into something with the Maple Leafs now. Zamnov got a knock from Eastwood, and the crowd didn't like that, nor did Zamnov, but the play goes right on. Leaf penalty almost over. No icing, that's been waved off. And the Jets get it up to the line. 5 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. Tkachuk went in and fanned on the pass. And it snuck down the ice. Anderson got 2 darts as he tried to move it outside his own line. He is going to the Leaf bench now. Here's Gilmore again. Wherever he is, it seems the puck is there. Pass came right to him. Now the Winnipeg penalty has been served. So they're back at full strength again. Zamnov dropping it back. Tkachuk waited too long. Good play by Allen. He leads the attack for Toronto. Up with Gilmore. Rolled it in behind the Winnipeg net. And the Jets back. Gill just missed it at the blue line, all the way down the ice. I think they're going to call this icing, even though Gill just barely missed it at the blue line.
The Esso Tiger team talks service.
The manager tells us, you know, be honest with the customers because that's what they want.
Treat everybody with the same amount of care.
Small details like streaks on the windows.
The customer's a lot friendlier if you get out there quickly.
On the self-serve, we have a quick reset. Customers, they can just start pumping right away. The customer's response to our service is great.
When you take people from different Essos and you put them all together and everyone's doing an efficient job, then Esso must be doing something right.
You're on your way with Esso.
4, Winnipeg, no score. That one nearly caught the far corner. That ricochets off the boards all the way back deep in the lead zone. We are in the third period, coming up to the 7-minute mark. Toronto got a goal in the first, 2 in the second, added another here in the third. And the Jets continue to be stymied by the checking of the Maple Leafs. Berg is making a bid here. Good save, but the rebound, and Baumgartner just missed it. Good play by Berg, and a fine stop by Bob Essenza. Ulanov on the rush. Puck is fired in back in the net. Ulanov trying to dig it out and get something going for Winnipeg. Into the corner. Tomlinson is tied up on the play. King gets in front of the net, but lost control of it at the last second. Lefebvre, a hit from Domi. Partially sidestepped it. It is shot in behind the Leaf goal. There goes Lefebvre. Gillen is chasing him. Here comes Eagles. So the Leafs, very organized, and they get it out. Tell shoots it in. It'll come all the way back to Osborne. He missed it. Solani didn't get very far. They're watching him closely. Here he is again. Solani, this time a shot. Blocked by Potvin. And the shot off the Leaf defenseman. Berahowski went on the net. And the goaltender had to stop that.
What happens when a viper sheds its skin? Presenting the new 300 horsepower V10 Dodge Ram. The first truck that lives up to the name. Pickup.
Why Landau?
We carry a larger selection of cars and trucks than most dealers, so you can actually see the colors and options before you make your choice. And if it's already here, there's no waiting for delivery.
Why Landau?
Because we understand how important price is, so we do our best to make our prices fair and affordable. no hidden cost.
Landau Lincoln Mercury, 555 Empress. What a dealership should be.
Well, one of the better chances to score for the Jets comes after this Solani shot. Barahowski trying to shoot the puck behind the net, forces Potvin to catch it. Take a look at the look Potvin gives Barahowski. It's always a joke when you're up 4-0 when you do that, but if it's tied, it's not so funny.
And it doesn't go in.
You can't beat Potvin. Nobody can on either team.
Well, we've just about hit the 8-minute mark of the third. The Leafs in control, 4-0. Barahowski came close to solving Potvin for the Winnipeg Jets. He passed to center. That's Solani on a fly. He's coming in and still hangs on to it, but now checked by Eastwood. Solani a little feisty tonight. Went after Eastwood and missed him. Went into the boards rather heavily, but he's okay. Eastwood again is back there trying to stop Gillen. Eastwood has Gillen trapped. Kicks the puck ahead to Anderson. He took a shot from Eagles and a second hit from Eagles. Referee Gregson is standing right there. Anderson knew that and skated away. Leafs lead 4-0. Newman pass to Shannon. Dropped it. Emerson drives it right on the net. Potvin looking very sharp tonight. Mind you, the Jets have only had 17 shots, but he looks very confident. Cutting the angles. Moving well. Freezing the puck when he has to. Isabard coming in there. Isabard gets set. Tucked it back in front of the net. Isabard takes it behind the goal. Trying to center to Shannon. Now the pass comes out. Gilmore can't find it. And it's cleared by the Maple Leafs down the ice. Coming up to the halfway mark of the third now. It's still 4-0. And this time the Winnipeg Jets are called for icing.
Well, look, Winnipeg Jets are really frustrated and probably are a little guilty of trying to do too much individually now. Solani just took a rush, tried to beat some 5 elite players, had a notion to include 3 or 4 ushers to see if he could beat them, and finally he ran out of territory and lost the puck.
Stay tuned after tonight's game for the National with Paul Hunter. A report on Canada's big chill. Cold everywhere. It's cold here. We can attest to that. Minus 30 Celsius. Going lower the next few days. Baumgartner left it back to the net. And the Leafs are in there checking for it. Domi, though, will get it out. Forecasting record lows in Ontario these days. Cold in your home today, Harry. Outside Buffalo.
And it's heading your way, I hear, to the East Coast.
It'll veer off south. Ireland taking up with Anderson played it up. Baumgartner trying to go in. A pass gets in front to Kudashov, who centered it. Passes it down, covering up on the post. And it's flipped off the boards to center ice. No penalty. The crowd wanted one there. Domi is not very happy. So look out. He was upended, trying to break away after the puck. Domi is now heading off to the Winnipeg bench as they change. Solani is on, taking a hit. The Jets, King, batted one out of the air up to Solani. Boy, he was flying, but he couldn't control it. Now the long pass up to the left side, and Solani circles back, looking for some skating room. He won't find it against the checking Maple Leafs. Kachuk fed it back to the blue line, and the Jets just shoot it down the ice. 8:55 remaining in the third period. 4-0 Toronto. They're out shooting the Jets 24-18. So not a great lot of shots from either side. Well, you don't expect the Leafs to be going too deep now, looking for scoring plays. They've had 4 of them. They feel that might be enough. However, here's Zezel. Now Mironov. Mironov in, takes a look, and he put it up high on the outside of the net. It ended up in the mesh, and the play is called. And a scramble in the goal crease area, and Dmitry Mironov, who was in deep, got a shot.
Look at the Mironov boys behind the net. They're going to drop their gloves just like they used to do in the backyards of Moscow when they got mad at each other. This would be a first. They never fight anybody, let alone, well, they know each other's toughness. Maybe that's why they're struggling here.
First chance to get together tonight. Well, look at it.
Well, Dmitry Mironov, number 15 for the Leafs, had a great chance to score. A lovely play at the Leaf blue line by Bird to chip the puck past the Winnipeg defenseman. And then Peter Zezel on the 2-on-1 got it over to Mironov. And Mironov just kept going right too far and couldn't put it by Bob Essenza.
8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the third period. Nice swing by Tkachuk.
We're blowing hot and cold about how beer is made. There is a beer which quietly and consistently delivers on its promise. Nobody delivers great beer taste and no aftertaste. Like Molson Special Dry. No beer. It just could be the best beer ever brewed, anytime, anywhere. The new Ram pickup features a frame design so strong it's been patented. Its optional rear step bumper can pull 5,000 pounds by itself without the help of that frame. The tie-downs in back are so strong, they can support the weight of the entire truck. We overbuilt this pickup because we were sure you'd never underwork it. Dodge, reinventing the truck.
Well, a few cuts and bruises. That'll happen in any hockey game. Bill Berg being attended to, and maybe this is where he picked it up. A little scuffle. Oh, nice swing, as I said before. And Berg feeling a little pain. There they are, Harry. The two Mironovs.
I've heard of the brothers Karamazov, but not the brothers Mironov. They got to be talking, having fun here, don't they?
15,344. Not all of them disappointed, I know, but most of them disappointed, and some of them starting to leave the Winnipeg Arena now. 4-0, Toronto leading. So the few Leaf fans that are here, I guess will stay to the end. Only 8 minutes remaining in the third. We're going to get a scrap. King and Baumgartner finally get together. Now these are two heavyweights, and they'll all move back. Just the officials and the two combatants are in there, Baumgartner and King. Baumgartner has the sweater off, trying to get that left arm loose, and he does. Uh-oh. Now he's ready to go. And they're in the ring there, too, to the left of Putman, that big circle. Chris King is a tough customer, but so is Ken Baumgartner, and they're letting them go. Finally, someone comes in. Domi comes in from the blue line, and he didn't want any more of that.
Well, Baumgartner and King have gone before when King played for the Rangers and Baumgartner for the Islanders. Why Ty Domi was so upset baffles me a little bit, but I think he's going to get a 10-minute misconduct for faking being the third man as he roared in off the blue line. Everybody else was watching it with some enjoyment, I think, but
couldn't take any more. Couldn't take any more. Now, you know the competitor that he is, and he saw Baumgartner get the better of the thing, and just couldn't hack it any longer, and emotion, I guess, took over, and he stormed in.
But Baumgartner was not tagging King. He was hitting him most of the time in the back of the helmet. So it wasn't as if King was taking an awful beating. Ty Domi, I guess he can't watch fights that long without getting into one.
Right now, he's telling the linesman that you should have gone in there, and yet when he's doing it himself, he's telling the linesman, listen, you guys stay out. Well, that's Ty.
Maybe they didn't. I think Ty Domi's still going to get a penalty. I'm not sure.
All right, while we wait for the official penalty call, Here's Ron McLean.
2 point, guys. Nobody hurt. Lovely fight. What's everybody upset about?
No one's upset. We're doing an update. Never mind. Florida at Montreal. Key goal in the game here for the Canadians. Endeavoring to rally against John Van Beesbrook. Pretty feat. Guy Carbonneau to Eric Desjardins. One time. 3-2 now. They're into the final 6-7 minutes at the Forum. The Canadians trying to get back into it.
All right, Ron. Thanks very much. There's Ty Domi. Great competitor.
I guess he didn't get a penalty. The referee gave him an awful signal to get out of there when he roared off the blue line. I thought he'd get 10. But since he didn't get involved, I guess he did no harm.
We're under 8 minutes remaining in the third period here. Shannon played one in over the Leaf line. They get in front of the net. Score! Eisebard finally gets a break for Winnipeg and got in there behind Pumpman to beat him with the backhander.
Well, Dave Ellett going back to get the puck was the first man to it. Steen and Eisebard were racing him for it. And Ellett missed the puck. And Steen got it. There's Ellett. He's got it and he misses. And you can see that Eisebard, who's been a disappointment here in the goals department, gets one. As Dave Ellett fans on it. Eisebard had 35 goals and 34 goals the last 2 years. This is but his 7th. So he's away down in the goal score department.
Sam Noah back of the net. Now he's coming out. Winnipeg afire looking for another one, and Pumpman grabbed that shot from Newman and held on to it. The scoring play. Eisebard is 7th of the season. Shannon got the assist, and the time was 12:15 to make it. Toronto 4, Winnipeg 1.
Well, the Jets need an awful shot in the arm. They still have time if they ever got another quick one to cause Pat Burns a little worry. And maybe that goal will inspire a sputtering offense to get in shape. John Paddock, I'm sure, very disappointed in the fact they can't penetrate the Leafs. Mironov and Tkachuk going into the end of the rink with some enthusiasm. And Dmitry Mironov has been more physical tonight than most nights as a Leaf. And it's been one of the complaints about him that he doesn't play the man often enough.
You mentioned the penalties. Baumgartner and King. They got majors for fighting. Leafs shove the puck out of the zone down inside the Winnipeg line. Newmanen has to race back with Osborne giving chase, and he's away. Newmanen got it up as far as center ice, and that's broken up by Eastwood. Bumped by Quintal. And the Jets come back again. Newmanen misses it. Shannon takes it. Pass goes across in front of Bob Essensa. Osborne intercepting one here. Osborne to Eastwood. In with a quick shot, and Newmanen blocked it. Quintal out for Winnipeg. 6:45 remaining in the third. A couple of good moves by Emerson coming in. Tried his shot, and Lefebvre blocked that drive. Anderson out of his own zone, straight ahead with the pass to Osborne. Shannon hit Osborne. And the play called with 2 or 3 players in on the boards, and the puck held there. 6:31 remaining.
Well, the Leafs dressed 7 defensemen tonight. And one of the reasons why Pat Burns might have decided to do this was Jamie McCowan could not take part in the morning skate. He said he was feeling sick and went home early. Played quite a bit in the first half of the game, but Drake Barahowski has taken his spot, as I'm sure McCowan doesn't feel 100%. I rode back from the rink with him in a cab, and he said he didn't know what was wrong. He thought it might have been a little food poisoning, but had enough energy to play, but that's why Burns went with 7 defensemen.
Zazzle shoots it in from center ice. 6:20 remaining, third period. Tkachuk leaving it in his own zone. Tkachuk tries to catch up to it, but Ellett was there from center ice. And the Jets have to go back. Toronto 4, Winnipeg 1. Toronto had a 4-0 lead until Eisebard scored here in the third period for the Jets. Samnov through center. Gets up over the line. Solani with him. Solani in with a backhander and just missed. Vanderbilt was nailed but got the puck out.
Teemu Solani again. Kachuk goes up across the line. The Winnipeg player Ulanov is down on the ice at center ice. Hurt.
He took an awful shot from Bill Berg and didn't get up. You can see Berg wearing the badges of a hockey player tonight on his nose and under his right eye. And it looked like a check that wasn't a fairly harmless one, but Ulanov never got up. So he may be winded. The Winnipeg trainer out seeing what the trouble is. The Winnipeg bench stood up and demanded a penalty. They thought it might have been charging or maybe even spearing, but I don't think Terry Gregson called it. We know this.
It happened right in front, Harry. Sorry, in front of the Winnipeg bench, so they all had a good look.
We know this. Bill Berg finishes his checks as well as anybody in the National Hockey League. Let's have a look at it here. He had a stick up, and maybe he got Ulanov with it. I don't know. No penalty. Ulanov seems to have recovered. And as I said, Bill Berg wearing the ornaments lots of hockey players wear throughout the hockey season, a couple of cuts.
Five minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the third period of this one from the Winnipeg Arena. The Leafs scored in the first. Eastwood, 2 in the second. Andrechuk and Gilmore. Borshevsky, 10 seconds into the third. A beautiful solo effort. And Isabart at 12:15 of this third period for Winnipeg.
Now the Leafs going into third periods when they're ahead are 22-1, and the Jets going into the third period when they're behind are 1-14-2, and that one win came last Wednesday against Buffalo. Ty Domi chatting things over with the Leaf bench. I'm not sure what player he was involved with. But Ty Domi's been turned down all night by the Leafs. It's a good idea when you're ahead. Might give the other team any advantage at all.
Terry Gregson is at the penalty timekeeper's bench. Ty Domi is circling and heading to the Winnipeg bench. He might be gone. We'll wait now. We're jumping on that one probably. Gregson came over to the penalty timekeeper's bench. Ty Domi wants to have a word with Bill Berg, apparently, at the Leaf bench. But Ty is gone.
Well, he hasn't quite gone.
Got it all. Unsportsmanlike misconduct in game.
There's Domi having a chat with some Leaf players. You know, there's a lot of caustic comments that go from the bench to players on the ice, especially when one team's handling the other as well as the Leafs have handled the Jets tonight. Domi had heard enough. Paddock very smartly got Domi out of the bench area, so there was no further problem. Don't forget the Jets play here tomorrow night against Tampa Bay. The Leafs play Tuesday and Wednesday to finish their schedule before the All-Star game.
This has been a rather tame affair, though, here at the Winnipeg Arena tonight. Not a lot of body work, not a lot of hitting. Close checking, but no good solid hits. Not many, anyway, we should say. So a fairly disciplined game. And the Leafs in charge from the beginning. They're leading 4-1 as it winds down, just over 5 minutes remaining. And the Leaf big line on, Borshevsky, Andrechuk, and Gilmore, and they lose it inside the Winnipeg line. Quintal has Kachuk on the wing, but the pass is intercepted by Ellett. He and Gill get together back there. It is Ellett coming out, going the other way. Borshevsky over the line. He's in the slot with Andrechuk. Quick shot. Not much on that one, and he missed the net. Newman fired back of the goal. Gill anticipating that. Moved over to keep it in. But Newman in again. Gets it and shoots it down the ice. 4:45 left in the third. The goaltender, Potvin, played it out. But Gillen stopped it. Isabart with him. Borshevsky left it there for Gilmore. And he gave it to Borshevsky again. Gilmore, plenty of time, moving out. Winnipeg was changing. Gill up on the play. Dropped it to Andrechuk. Andrechuk now working himself into position. Side of the net with a pass. Score! Borshevsky, a three-way passing play with a line. Andrechuk to Gilmore. He saw Borshevsky, and a wicked snapshot went in. 5-1.
Well, you know how Doug Gilmore likes to get behind the icing line and make those pass outs. Andrechuk makes a nice play after taking a drop pass from Gill to maintain possession, tosses it into Gilmore. Borshevsky right in the clear. 3 Winnipeg players against 3 Leaf players, but as usual tonight, the Jets in their own zone were incompetent. And Borshevsky takes advantage of that weakness and puts it in to make it 5-1.
Gilmore and Andrechuk assisting on the goal, the second of the night for Borshevsky, his 8th of the season.
Ulanov just took a swing at Berehowski, who stood up and made him shoot it in, and I think Ulanov will get a penalty for roughing.
It takes, on average, 160 days of work to buy a new car. Take a few days off. Introducing the very affordable 94 Hyundai Elantra, featuring a 16-valve, 124-horsepower engine, airbag, and available ABS. The Hyundai Elantra. The less time you spend working for it, the more time you can spend playing with it.
The Esso Tiger team talks pride.
Customer liked my smile. I watched you guys work, and we always had grin from ear to ear. It's like being just a real family, and when you enjoy being together, you enjoy your customers more, you treat your customers better.
There's a great amount of care taken in everything that Esso does.
We take what we do very seriously. We expect to be the best, and we work at it.
Customers number one.
Quality, friendly service. And I think that's what it all comes down to.
You're on your way with Esso.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to stay tuned to see the Molson's 3 stars, and if he isn't one of them, look out.
I don't have to worry, he'll be one of them, Don. He assisted on Borshevsky's second goal of the night. He set up Borshevsky's first goal of the night. He scored in the first period and set up Andrechuk for his goal in the second period.
Guys walking by the rink would vote for him the way he's played tonight, even if they're not in the building.
He's had another great hockey game. Working both ends of the rink, too, I might add. 4 minutes remaining, third period. 5-1 Toronto.
Well, as I said earlier, the Winnipeg Jets have to beat you with offense. They're not going to out-defense you, as they are 24th in the league in goals against. And the Leafs have beat the Jets at their own game.
Face-off coming up in the Leaf zone, but first here's Ron McLean.
Thank you, Bob. The Florida Panthers have extended their lead. Patrick Roy on a clearing play. Mike Huff intercepts and somehow, I guess, clears himself so that this isn't offside. He scores the goal unassisted. 8 members of the Kitchener Rangers still in the NHL. Mike Huff's one of the Mike Eagles of the Jets, another.
Mironov of the Jets tried a shot from inside the blue line. Trickled off a stick and went wide of the net. Steen working along the boards. Upended. Play continues. Steen again. Threw it back in the goal and gets out front with the pass. Went very high over everybody. Anderson hooked it away from Steen and got it back. Mironov and Steen will bump on the boards at the far side. It is kept in by Boughton. Now the Leafs skate out. Up to center ice. The pass into Anderson. Mironov really faked the shot, and Anderson wasn't quite ready for the pass. The Jets move back. Zemnov over the line. Solani with him offside. 3:03 left.
Well, we haven't missed much in the way of replays tonight. Our guys in the truck have been hot when it's cold outside. Mr. Raskin, the producer, Mr. Marshall, the director, Mr. McKeegan, he finds these highlights for us. Another good job by the top crew, I would say, Mr. Cole.
I would say, as usual. And this game coast to coast from the arena in Winnipeg, where the Maple Leafs handing the Jets set back to the tune of 5-1 as we speak. 2:40 remaining in the third period. Leafs got the 1 goal in the first period. Shots were only 8-5 for Toronto. They're in again. This time Essenza stopping Gill, was in close. Berg in the corner. Falling to the ice, being checked by Newmanen. Andrechuk and Gilmore scored in the second to make it 3-0. A pretty goal at 10 seconds of the third by Borshevsky, 4-0. Isabard stole one, and at 12:15 of the third, he made it 4-1. But then Borshevsky got his second of the night at 15:40 from Gilmore and Andrechuk.
The Leafs have had 26 shots, and they've had about 5 guys in alone on Bob Essenza. And he has allowed the 1 goal by Borshevsky, but he's made 5 or 6 one-on-one stops. And he looks to me like if you try to go to his left to beat him, he's almost unbeatable.
Gilmore gets the puck at his own blue line. Up across center, and he tipped it in there for Andrechuk in front of the net. The backhander stopped by Essenza. Andrechuk staying with it, so is Gilmore. Gilmore trying to work it away from Newmanen, but he can't. And Newmanen checked by Gilmore, gets it ahead, but it's not out yet. Quintal goes back. Newmanen takes his pass. Ripped it out across the line, and Emerson trying to move in for Winnipeg. A long shot by Tomlinson is wide of the net. Leafs checking again inside their own line. It is centered. Tomlinson got it out front. The Leafs are standing there in front of the net. Bob Rouse intercepted that pass. And Borshevsky was very cool, hanging on to it. And he just cleared it away. A minute and a half left in the third as Gillen goes in with Eagles. Eagles is bumped in front of the net. Osborne went down on the hit. And now Eagles got a skate on it and gave it to Gillen. To the line, Kennedy's shot. Hit the outside of the pipe to the left of Potvin. And Osborne trying to clear for Eastwood. Eastwood there. Made short, got out over the line. Leafs bring it to center ice with 1 minute remaining in the third period. For you people who have been watching Florida defeat the Montreal Canadiens at the Forum tonight, we say hello from Winnipeg. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal, Ron McLean and Don Cherry, and this young man, Felix Potvin, not a lot of work to do tonight. He's allowed just 1 goal on 21 shots. The Leafs themselves have only had 26 shots, but have scored 5 times. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and they've added 2 by Borshevsky here in the third. Andrechuk, Gilmore, and Eastwood the other Leaf goals. Isabard for the Winnipeg Jets. It's Don Cherry night tonight here at the Winnipeg Arena. 10,000 lookalikes in the seats here in the old arena. And enjoying the game.
Between the second and third period, they had a contest. Who sounded like Don Cherry?
35 seconds. Nobody could win that one. Down the ice it goes. 30 seconds left. Essenza very disappointed with his team tonight. The Leafs have been pouring it on Bob Essenza. He's had to come up with some pretty good one-on-one jobs against Toronto rushing forwards tonight. And he's looked pretty good in most of them. But the Leafs have scored 5. The Jets only 1. Time about done. That is Boris Mironov trying to win. 5 seconds remaining. And up to center, the Leafs. Osborne beaten by the horn. And the Leafs continue their winning ways by defeating the Winnipeg Jets here tonight at the arena in Winnipeg by a score of 5-1. The final shot's 26-21. A little brief mix-up at the end of the game, but nobody that hot.
Well, I know it's an old story, but among all the other differences that gave the Leafs a well-earned victory, the Leafs' best players were, in fact, their best players. That was not true about the Winnipeg Jets' best players tonight, and when that happens, in this league, you rarely lose.
So Pat Burns and the Leafs win another one, this time here in Winnipeg. The Toronto Maple Leafs defeat the Jets 5-1. And in just a moment, the Molson 3-star selection.
What are we going to do about the RSP this year? You got any ideas?
There's always GICs, but nah.
So we get a tax break. Look at interest rates. Can't we do better than that?
You'd think so.
Maybe we need a game plan, you know? Look at the big picture.
Well, let's get on it.
Call investors today.
Today's true performance car is distinguished by many things. Its power, its responsiveness, but most of all, its unmistakable sounds. The Intrepid, a performance sedan that handles the road as well as your family.
Back at the arena in Winnipeg, the Toronto Maple Leafs win their 6th in as many, and the Molson 3 Stars in this evening's game, a 5-1 Leaf romp, as you might expect, dominated by the Toronto side. Goaltender Felix Potvin, the 3rd star tonight, the 2nd star Dave Andrechuk, and the number 1 star tonight. Cherry must have had a hand in this. You'll hear from Doug Gilmour, and we'll also try to hook up with John Van Beesbrook in Montreal when we continue on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
The same is true. The top producing agents that are full-time and experienced, they don't follow the crowd. They rise above it with Remax. Call us first.
These days, $3.99 combos are pretty common. So what makes Wendy's $3.99 old-fashioned quarter-pound single combo special? Me, it's the hamburger. See, we take a quarter-pound of fresh beef hot off the grill and add your choice of toppings. Plus, you get a 20 fluid-ounce drink and biggie fries that are really big. It's really simple. When you start with the best hamburger in the business, you end up with the best $3.99 combo in the business. Hey, there's my favorite show.
When you belong to CAA Manitoba, it means we'll be there to help. And not only help with a tow or lockout service, we can help plan your trip. From reservations and holiday packages to fee-free traveler's checks to trip picks that get you where you're going. Let us help. Become a CAA Manitoba member.
For everywhere you go today, go with CAA.
How can an 80-pound grandmother move a 1,500-pound piano? The one and only Yellow Pages. It all starts here. How did this farmer finally manage to get pigs to fly?
It was easier than I thought.
The one and only Yellow Pages. It all starts here.
I hope they're right.
We welcome the nation now together from Winnipeg and Montreal to the post-game. Florida wins to make it 2-0-1 against the Canadians. Amazing. Trefilov gets his 2nd shutout of the week. Calgary romps over Ottawa. And Toronto, through the help of the number 1 star at the arena in Winnipeg, defeats the Jets 5-1. Doug, we'll just sit here for a couple of minutes and throw it off to Scott Russell at the Forum in Montreal. We said tonight Solani versus Andrechuk would be interesting, but what about Roy versus Van Beesbrook? The MVP for the Panthers was JVB. So for that story, let's go to the Forum.
Well, thanks very much, Ron. John Van Beesbrook records the 14th win of the season for him personally, the 17th win for the Florida Panthers. He stopped 43 Montreal Canadian shots. Here's one of them, a backhand by Lyle Odeline. And John Van Beesbrook, who would have thought that the Florida Panthers would be 500 at this point in the season and really challenging for a playoff spot? What's that say about the team and about the league?
Well, I think it says, first of all, about our team that we have a lot of heart and a lot of character, and the guys that put it together, Bill Torrey, Bob Clark, and Roger Nielsen did a wonderful job. And about the league, there's a lot of parity out there. You know, you see a lot of low-scoring games out there, and you know, you ask Jacques Demers, and it's all clutch and grab.
Interesting time for you next weekend at Madison Square Garden in New York. You'll skate onto the ice. No longer a Ranger after having spent so much time there. I want to ask you, will that be very sweet?
That'll be very special for me and my family. You know, I spent 10 years there, and I don't feel any animosity there. I just was very proud to play there, and to go back after 10 years is going to be special.
Well, John, congratulations, and continue wishes for good luck.
Thank you very much.
John Van Beesbrook of the Florida Panthers, they defeat the Montreal Canadiens tonight 5-2, and the Panthers are unbeaten in 3 games against the Canadiens this season. Now back to Winnipeg and Ron McClain.
Beautiful. Thank you, Scott. Doug Gilmore, congratulations. The Molson 3-Star Award. As you know, there was a protest lodged on Coach's Corner tonight. What do you mean, show him? It's on TV. What do you mean? I'll explain to you in a second here. But anyway, great game. Tell me about it, how you saw it.
Well, I guess everybody read the paper here today, and they figured out our system was called well, we didn't know what the name was, but it's called the Trap now. And it's just a
setup, is it?
No. I'm serious. It was in the Winnipeg Free Press and Link today, and they had our game analyzed now, and they said it's called the Trap, and we don't know what the hell the Trap is, but that's the way we play.
Everybody's talking about the games aren't up to snuff because your wedge, your trap, your 2-1-1, whatever it is. But we all know you do use a nice defensive system. Is that you? Did you do this? I can't follow for sure. I know Pat Burns is really upset that they're after him for his winning ways. But you paid attention to that. I think even more important, though, for this team, 17 goals, I think, in 11 road games or something coming in. A 5-goal outburst with you, Nikolai, and Dave Anderchuk's got to be good.
Well, it was about time we got it back on. We struggled in the past, but we had some injuries. We really don't want to use it as an excuse, but if we go through a slump, it was a good time to go through a slump.
And we're going to go to out-of-town scores. Don, you can join in with Doug and me as we go through these. As you said, amazing these expansion teams, Florida and the Mighty Ducks. Florida knocks off Montreal.
Well, there we are. Imagine that, Montreal losing. It's hard to believe in the Forum. What a drop. They better get those guys going up pretty soon. And this one, Calgary, 10-0. I got Wes Walsh, 2 goals. This kid had more trouble. He zings one in there. I love to see these kids. I think he's from Calgary, right?
Born in Calgary, played for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, better believe it. I'll tell you, I'd love to see them. Nice goal. Wes.
And the Detroit Red Wings win again. Big romp last night, and now they win at the Boston Garden. The Edmonton Oilers fell this afternoon. Larry Murphy broke a 3-3 tie with 13 minutes gone in the third period. Actually, Edmonton outshot the Pens 39-33, but Ken Reggett beat out Bill Ranford. Reggett's done a nice job with Tom Barrasso down. Washington, a shutout victory over the Quebec Nordiques. The Chicago Blackhawks and New York Islanders settled in a 5-5 tie. LA Kings at New Jersey, they had a big 4-0 victory, assured after the first, and then the Devils under Jacques Lemaire made it close, but it wasn't enough. You got to know with Joseph and Hasek, this would be a close game. The St. Louis Blues leading the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm just kind of rambling. Did you want to join in?
Don, you're doing a great job. That's what you've done all night anyhow. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Don Cherry night in Winnipeg, he's a little mad. I kept jumping on him in the Coach's Corner. And the Hartford Whalers and the Sharks are tied at 1. Pierre McGuire's got the Whalers going. It's tough, but this is a nice attractive. You can't kiss them at least from way over there.
Bob Irving picks the stars, right? He's the producer of the radio show. I go on all the time. I said if he doesn't get #1, never go on your show again, but you did it on your own. The best 2-way player, 4-way player in the National Hockey League, sitting right there, Dougie Gilmore again.
And I won't ask you what Ty Domi said to Bill Berg, but he really stirred it up tonight, too. Anyway, Doug, we're out of time. Congratulations for sitting here for 5 minutes and tolerating this. Good luck at the All-Star game next week. We'll be back with more on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC in a moment.
Come on, guys. If we win this game, no practice tomorrow.
Boys, we win this one. No practice for a week.
And I'll take you to see a great movie this weekend.
Well, win or lose, we're all going to have a triple cheeseburger at McDonald's.
McDonald's Taste of the Month is the triple cheeseburger, alone or as part of an extra value meal.
Kevin Sullivan's award-winning classic Road to Avonlea is back for an all-new season.
If you are going to give this place to me when you die, the first thing I am going to do is sell it!
Share the troubles and the triumphs with your favorite characters. A brand new season. Road to Avonlea, Sunday night at 7 on CBC. Brought to you by Petro-Canada. Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC was brought to you by Molson Special Dry, the evolution of beer. And by Imperial Oil and Esso Associates, who invite you to discover the Esso Tiger spirit of service.
It'd have to be a cold night in January before an expansion team from Florida could go unbeaten against the champions in 3 games, but that's the scene. 5-2 Florida. Ottawa falls by 10 at Calgary. Andre Trefilov, the star, and Toronto 5-1. Next Saturday, the All-Star game is at 3 o'clock Eastern. We'll take a 2-hour break at 6 Eastern, then it's the skills competition at 8. Thanks for watching tonight for all of us. Good night.
Sports, home of the champions. A capitalist oasis in the heart of China.
This is the border between 2 economic realities within China.
CBC's Mark Starovich explores an economic revolution that will dominate the next century. Red Capitalism, Sunday at 8.
Anne Murray in Nova Scotia, Sunday, January 23rd on CBC.
I could read, but I couldn't always make sense of what I was reading.
I don't want a job doing labor all my life.
Last year I went to college, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up with them. I should just give up.
When I made a spelling mistake, they never said anything about it.
One day I decided, you know, my education skills weren't perfect.
I figure I know how to read a little. I just need to improve on that.
You can improve.
Every day got easier and easier and easier. Like I figure it's like a puzzle. Once you get it, you'll always have it.
Learning new things every day makes you feel so much better.
I can make my dream come true now.
I can do more reading, more writing. I feel very proud of myself.
I never know the sweetness of reading and writing.
I'm going for it, and I'm going all the way.
Education is a right that all people should have.
For help, look in the new yellow pages under Learn.
It worked. That's all I can say. It worked.
Watch the magical world of Disney on CBC, and you could win one of 4 trips to beautiful Disneyland in Southern California. Visit all your favorite attractions, plus an all-new land, Mickey's Toontown. You'll fly Delta Airlines, the official airline of Disneyland, and stay at the Disneyland Hotel. This Sunday, tune in to Disney's Night of Magic and identify one of the musical guests or magicians. Write your answer on a postcard or entry form in this week's TV guide and send it to this address.
100% of your United Way gift goes directly to agencies and services. All administration costs are covered by lottery revenue from the government of Manitoba. Please give to your United Way.
Tuesday on 24 Hours, we'll show you how this man saves big bucks on his prescription bill. If you think you're paying too much for your prescription drugs, join Shirley Muir for